Hi everyone, my name's Dave.
Hi, I'm Jesse, and welcome to Dreams and Screams.
You're crazy to know who I am, aren't you? All right, I'll show you.
She hates me. Like others.
You see, I hurt you because I love you.
Synthetic flesh.
You wouldn't do that to me.
Wouldn't I?
He ain't my dad.
No, and he ain't no preacher neither.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
You wouldn't be able to do these awful things to me if I weren't still in this chair.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
What have you done to its eyes?
He has his father's eyes.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
I met this 6-year-old child with the blackest eyes.
He's gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in.
Killer if you can. Lover boy.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Bell.
You son of a bitch, you moved the cemetery, but you left the bodies, didn't you?
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Please, God.
This is God.
You have to have faith for that to work.
Tonight, folks, we're going to dive into the world of Amicus films, which are based on the classic EC comics produced by William M. Gaines.
Yeah, from 1951 to 1955-56, until they were put in hold or a complete ban by this idiot Dr. Frederick Wertheim, who thought the comics were causing juvenile delinquency. But luckily Mr. Gaines went on to create Mad magazine not long afterwards, which made his company take off again.
Well, they're the same guy who accused him of causing children to act up, was the same guy that said Superman was a fascist.
Yeah, and just in passing, there's a really good documentary on the Tales from the Crypt TV series about the creation of EC Comics. Very, very informative, isn't it, Jesse?
Yeah, I've seen that back in the day. Yeah, I wouldn't mind rewatching that sometimes.
I might watch that again too.
Very insightful.
Mm.
Very well done. As I like to say sometimes, folks, very
well done.
Yes,
very well done, like boiled eggs. Yes. Just say boiled eggs.
Exactly. And the first one we're going to talk about, of course, is Dr. Terror, House of Horror, made in 1965.
Terror. Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Horrors the screen has never before dared to depict. The terrifying horror of the man-killing vine with a human brain that creeps and kills. The terrifying horror of voodoo witchcraft. The terrifying horror of the dead, entombed for 200 years, that creeps its way back to terrorize the living. The terrifying horror of the young doctor, forced to plunge a wooden stake into the breast of his beautiful bride. The terrifying horror of a dreaded man called Dr. Terror, who, with his deck of mystic cards, could foretell destiny. Dr. Terror, who has a strange, horrifying knowledge of the past and future of every man and woman on earth. The fear of the year clutches at your heart with hands as cold as death. Dr. Terror's House of Horrors.
And directed by Freddie Francis.
Yeah, not much of a director. Right?
No, he's a shit director because he directed another entry in the series, which we'll mention later on.
And starring
starring Mr. Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Max Adrian, Roy Castle, and our all-time favourite, who's still going strong, Mr. Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, he's got to be up there in age, eh? He's got to be like, what, maybe 80?
At least.
Yeah, well, I think it bears to mention that earlier me and Dave were watching a YouTube video by one of my favourite YouTubers, Dave McCrane. He had a very interesting video, didn't he, Dave?
I'm very impressed by that, mate.
Yeah, about like what's going to happen the next decade with a lot of these Hollywood legends like Spielberg and Schwarzenegger and Stallone and even Harrison Ford. Like, yeah, a lot of them are not going to be around. Hopefully they still are, but statistically speaking, yeah, in the next decade we're going to lose a few of those names, which is quite depressing to think of.
5 or 6 years, he said, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I think I also wanted to mention that I was sad, even though I'm not a massive fan or anything, but I was sad to hear that Luke Perry died the other day at quite a young age, 51.
Very young, yes.
Very sad.
Stroke? What, massive stroke?
Yeah, he had a stroke and then he was put into a medically induced coma and he just never came out of it.
Very upsetting, that was.
Very sad. But, read the plot for this first anthology we're going to talk about. Like I said, Dr. Terrorhouse Horror. 5 men enter a train carriage in London bound for Bradley. And, long story short, another man enters not long after the 5 men have entered the carriage. And the character is played by Peter Cushing. And he's sporting some very thick eyebrows in this movie.
Yeah, very thick. Very caterpillarish.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what his name is? Dr. Shrek.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a tie-in to Max Shrek, who played Nosferatu.
But I always thought he was called Dr. Terror, like the title.
Yeah, I know, that's a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah, that doesn't really meld well for me. They should have called him Dr. Terror.
There should be a connection there.
But yeah, anyway, he basically comes into the carriage late and foretells their fortunes with tarot cards. And each one of them's got a tale of terror that doesn't end so well for them.
Yeah. Do you want to read the first story? Or?
We don't need
to
read
just
the
a short
plot.
synopsis, just the basics.
Well, the first one's about a man he's an architect and he goes back to his old childhood home, which he had to sell off many years ago, and the current owner, which is a widower, wants to make some alterations on the property. So I think it's like on some island, that's right. And he goes there to see what can be done with the property. And that's basically like the outline of how the plot begins, and it has something to do with a werewolf, Dave.
Yeah, sorry, Neil McCallum and Ursula House.
Yeah, it's called The Werewolf too.
Yeah, I saw that maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, and I don't remember anything about it.
Well, that's the thing about this film, Dave, is I've probably, I haven't seen this nowhere near as many times as I've seen Volta Horror or House of Drip Blood, or even Asylum, but I have still seen it a fair few times over the years. I've probably seen it at least probably 5 times. And I always remember the very bare minimum about this movie. There's really nothing about it that really sticks with me, other than the wraparound story is probably what sticks with me most, and that's probably due to more of the iconic actors that are in it, Peter Cushing, of course, and Sutherland, and even Christopher Lee. And
Roy Castle, I like him.
Which one's he?
I'll tell you which, because he turns up in one of the stories.
Okay.
Voodoo.
Okay, that guy. Yeah. Well, to be honest, I've never seen him in anything else. I don't think unless it's this movie. Yeah.
He was a very good light leading man in British. Not so big, but in the 60s and the 70s.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's okay. Any more on that?
Well, yeah. Well, I just gave the outline of the story. I talk about the story,
yeah, it's pretty average, I thought.
Well, there's not a lot to it. So that's
the
thing, folks. Forgive us if we don't give very descriptive details and go into a lot of the things about the plots of these, because sometimes there's just not a lot to talk about. They're just very they're enjoyable, but as enjoyable as they are, they're also very cut and dry. Some of these stories, they just sort of happen. They happen so quickly.
Average.
But even the good ones, even the stories in House of Drip Blood or whatnot, even the ones that are really good, because they're so short, and it all happens pretty quickly, the story evolves pretty quickly and concludes pretty quickly, there's just not a lot to talk about. It's not like talking about, a 2-hour movie or whatever, a 90-minute movie that has very fleshed out characters, like a lot of these characters don't get extremely fleshed out, although, when you get a really good actor like Peter Cushing there, you do get a bit of that, because he's such a good actor, he can give you a lot with very little time.
Well, the thing with Mr. Cushing is, too, when he made these movies, he always had a hand in the script.
Really?
Yeah, didn't you know about that?
No, I was not.
Watch that interview with him again that's on YouTube. Well, you've seen that, haven't you? There's another one with him.
I believe so, yes.
And he was always a perfectionist, Mr. Cushing. He always was very, not worried, but he was concerned sometimes if the script wasn't up to par. He wanted to, make sure that everything was okay, that everything was, was pretty well put out.
I would have loved to have met him, and he just seemed like such a nice guy. Like, Aya King, his real life persona to be very similar to his character in Tales from the Crypt. Like, I think he would be very similar to that.
Not as meek as that.
Not as meek, but just like that, that really overly kind, gentle guy.
Yeah.
That
lovely
just
man.
would be nice.
The opposite of Christopher Lee.
Yeah, Christopher Lee, man, I think that guy plays Dracula just a little bit too good,
Yeah. He is Dracula. He's just too cold-eyed and very stern, that deep, resonant voice.
Put it this way, I wouldn't like that man to be my father.
No.
I don't think you'd have a very good time.
What was it?
Didn't you finish that homework?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
I told you to finish it tonight.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he plays his dad in that, doesn't he? The dentist.
Yes, well, he usually does play villain.
But there's no warmth about him, is there?
Yeah, he's very cold. Yeah,
with Mr. Cushing there is. You want to hug the little fella.
Even when he's playing, he hasn't done it a lot, but even when he's playing like a villain, you still like him,
Yeah, it's true. You've got to see a movie called Corruption with Peter Cushing. He plays a killer.
Oh,
would you believe? In the late 60s. It's a very good film.
I'll have to check it out.
It's good.
But, getting back on topic... this guy turns up to the house, and it's all very mysterious, and, he starts, thinking about what he can, I don't want to turn this into, a whole thing about talking about the construction of a house, but he's, looking through the house to see what alterations he can make that, have been suggested by the woman that lives there and whatnot. And, long story short, he ends up in the cellar, and he breaks through a wall, and there's a coffin there, and this other dude, I think he's like the butler or something of the house, he gives a whole spiel about the coffin belonging to a werewolf and all that sort of stuff. And then there's another woman who lives in the house. I'm not sure if it's her daughter. I think it's her daughter or something. The other chick that lives in the house. Anyway, when they remove the coffin, the werewolf escapes at night and kills her, and then gets back in it, and then the main character, he's gonna melt down this silver crucifix and make silver bullets out of it to take out the werewolf, and he's gonna wait for the werewolf to wake up. But one thing I thought was kind of strange was, why does he wait? Once he has the gun, why doesn't he just open the coffin and blow him away?
It makes sense, doesn't it?
I don't get it. It's pretty strange. But he waits, and the coffin opens, and there's nothing in there. And then he hears a scream come from upstairs, and then the werewolf's upstairs, and it attacks the widower, whose house it is, and he fires a few shots, and I think he hits it. It runs off. And then he's like, I don't understand it. I've always been told in legends that you can only kill a werewolf with silver bullets. And then the twist is that the widower, she's a werewolf. It was her husband. And she's like, yeah, but you didn't have the silver bullets. And she just turns into a werewolf and kills him. And then it goes back to the wraparound, and Peter Cushing's reading out the last of the cards, and the last card's the death card, which they all get, of course, all these characters in the segments.
The Grim Reaper.
Yeah, but see what I mean, Dave? Like that story's very cut and dry, isn't it? There's not a lot you can really say of that. It's very basic, man. That's why we're gonna have a hard time. I mean, there's definitely some stories with some meat to it, and that's why I wanted to cover these films, because they are important movies to me. They always have been ever since I was a kid. So.
Without them, we wouldn't have any Creep Show.
Well, I was going to bring that up just before. Yeah, I think we have to acknowledge Creepshow when we're talking about Amicus, because Creepshow is a direct
homage in brackets
to EC Comics. Like that's what that's about. It goes without saying, and that's a subject we've definitely got to get on at some point.
Yeah,
love that movie to death. And speaking of Creepshow, Dave, I'm even wearing my Fluffy T-shirt today.
Oh, nice! Wow.
That's
brilliant, mate.
Just tell it to call you Billy, Dave.
Right on, mate. Yeah, catchphrase. Hey, we'll use that tonight too.
Oh yeah, well, that's. I've got to say that to you at the end of every episode, Dave.
Yeah, nice. All right.
And on that one? The next one is The Creeping Vine. This reminded me a little bit of that story. It's not exactly like it. A little bit of that story with Vincent Price from that. Is it Twice Told Tales?
Yeah.
Where his daughter's like
Bianca's hands.
Yeah, some sort of
some poison, doesn't it? Gets into the
creature thing.
Yeah, no, it's the poison gets us into vegetation.
Yeah, that's right.
And she becomes immune to it, and anything she touches dies.
Yeah, and it was like a little bit of even like the what's it, Lonesome Life of Jodie Verrill from Crypt. Like reminded me a little bit of that too. Like killer plants or anything like that, or like what is it, Day of the Triffids?
Yeah, that's it, Day of the Triffids.
Or even like Little Shop of Horrors kind of thing, But yeah, well,
it's another base.
You can give the short little.
Well, this is the plot synopsis on Wikipedia. Bill Rogers and his wife and daughter return from vacation to discover a fast-growing vine in the garden. When the plant seems to respond violently to attempts to cut it down, Rogers goes to the Ministry of Defence, who's played by Bernard Lee, who wanted to play M a few years... about that time anyway. James Bond's boss. And they get advice from a couple of scientists. The plant becomes intelligent and harbours homicidal tendencies towards any threats to its existence.
Yeah, but like, what really happens in this story, Dave? Like,
nothing!
The plant kills the dog, then kills the scientist guy, and then... I can't even remember even how it ends.
Neither do I. It just conks out on it.
Jeez, let me think. Yeah, it kills...
Don't they show it a picture of Rebel Wilson and it dies?
That would have been a hell of an ending. Well, that's right. The scientist, I think, before he croaks it, he figures out that fire harms it.
Oh, Jesus. Took it that long to figure it out, Jesse.
No. And then...
pretty weak, mate.
I think they just get trapped in the house or something. I think it ends
like we got trapped in the theatre watching this fucking thing.
I didn't see it in the theatre, Dave.
I didn't either. I was too young. I was only 10.
Hey, you could have seen it at 10.
I could have snuck in. No, it would have been only rated. There wasn't not many moments of violence in this movie. It was mostly pretty tame.
Yeah, well, there's just not a lot. I just don't have
no atmosphere to it.
Don't have much to say about
That's it.
Really.
Skip that, buddy. The next one is
Voodoo.
Voodoo. I'll just scroll down, mate. Up. Oh.
Yeah, I don't need you to scroll down. I can give you the quick gist of what this is about.
All right.
What's the actor's name? Stars
Lloyd Castle.
Yeah, well, he's a musician, and he's playing with his small little band, and he's a saxophone player, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's in this like small town on like this like island. I don't know. Where would it be? Like in Tahiti or something like that. And what?
I was just going to say, this story turns up in an episode of Boris Karloff's thriller called Papa Benjamin, and it's one of the worst ever. And that came out a bit, I think, maybe 2 years before this movie.
Oh, okay.
With John Ireland. It's really rank.
Yeah, well, long story short, yeah, he's on this island, And
You can't remember any of it.
I do, but I just can't be bothered.
Don't worry about it. Just skip, mate.
Wait. I got. Yeah, he's on this island, and this other guy who's a musician works there, and he's like telling him about like there's people practicing voodoo and stuff there, and you notice all the women are wearing these voodoo necklaces and rings, and he kind of makes a crack about it at this party, and they all just look at him, and then he sneaks off one night to watch one of the voodoo rituals, and he starts writing down like in musical notes the tune they're playing. They catch him, and they're like, "You can't write this down. This is the music of our god or whatever."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I think it'd be a big hit," and all that sort of stuff, and they rip it up, but he still remembers it, and he, long story short, he goes back to England or whatever, and he's trying to make a song out of it, and where they're recording it. Oh, and actually they're playing it in a jazz bar, aren't they? They're playing it in a jazz bar, and a friggin' storm breaks out in the jazz bar, and then his mate again warns him not to never to play it again, and that, and then this voodoo dude breaks into his house and burns it up or something like that. And
should have burnt the film.
and I think he's supposed to die, but I don't think he killed him though. Like he just
killed us.
I think he just burns it up or whatever, and tells him not to do it again and leaves.
Skip it, Jess. It's just shit, mate.
And then of course it goes back to the wraparound, and he gets the death card, so he's gonna die too.
Do you want me to read the next one?
Sorry, folks. I feel like I'm letting you down, but I just don't have a lot to say.
No, we haven't got any guff for this thing tonight. This one, anyway.
Yeah. I don't think it's a very well made movie, to be honest.
No, anything by Freddie Francis stinks. He's a great photographer, but not.
Did he direct that other Amicus film, Dave? I think you said he did. Didn't he? The one.
Torture Garden.
No, it's not a
anthology.
It's not an anthology. No.
What a feature film.
Yeah, I can't. Now the Screaming starts. Didn't he direct that?
Yeah.
That is horrible.
Yeah,
that is a horrible film. Oh, it's bad. It's so bad.
I'll get into his filmography in a minute. Anyway, so the next one is crap. Disembodied Hand. Pompous art critic Franklin Marsh, played by Christopher Lee, seems more concerned with his own devastating wit than art itself. Painter Eric Lander, played by Michael Goff, bears the brunt of one of Marsh's tirades.
Alfred.
Yes, years before. He always played pricks in these kind of movies. But gets even by humiliating the critic publicly. When Landor takes it too far, Marsh responds by driving over him with his car, causing Landor to lose one of his hands. Unable to paint anymore, Landor commits suicide. Marsh is then tormented by the disembodied hand, which seems immune to fire, as well as attempts to contain it, leading to Marsh's eventual blindness in a car accident of his own, just like this story.
Very clever, Dave. I'm going to give you that
Sharp
one.
as a tack, Jesse.
I want to mention too, like the whole time that what's his character in this Pittacushion?
Christopher Lee.
No, Pittacushion in the wraparound.
Dr. Shrek.
Yeah, well, Christopher Lee's character is giving Dr. Shrek shit the whole time, saying that he's a charlatan and all that, and he actually knows who he is.
He's a skeptic, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a skeptic. Yeah, he actually knows his name and all that, and he's like, the other guys are all like friggin' astounded that Dr. Shrek knows who Christopher Lee's character is, and he's like, don't be convinced by that. I'm in the news all the time and all that. I'm in the paper or whatever because I'm a critic and all that. Yeah, and he just the whole time giving him shit. And this story.
It's a rip-off on The Beast with Five Fingers, a really good Peter Lorre film made in 1945.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Good film.
But this one just, I mean, Christopher Lee, he's alright in it. Like, it's pretty much standard Christopher Lee fashion, though.
Well, he plays a pompous prick, which is not out of his depth, is it?
No, not really. It's just, the hand comes after him, and I think a couple of attempts it tries to run him off the road, and then eventually it runs him off the road or something like that, and he ends up blind.
And the fuck did that happen?
And
oh, sorry, I'll take the happen out.
He has a car crash, and then it blinds him. So,
yeah. Pretty average.
Just
There's nothing that stands out so far, is there?
No,
in this lot?
it's just. So that's the thing. Like, when you're watching it, it's like it just kind of the whole movie just kind of washes over you. But when you try to sit down and have a discussion about it, it's even more friggin' obvious just how friggin' kind of mediocre.
It's not bad. It's just meh.
Yeah, it's just very meh. Yeah, it's just got no gusto.
All right, next one.
The Vampire. This is probably my favourite out of all of them, even though it's still not great. But I like Sutherland in it, and actually, Sutherland was actually paid £1,000 to be in this.
What, an actor?
Yeah, that's all he was paid, £1,000.
Mr. Sutherland?
Yeah, Donald Sutherland. He's paid £1,000 to be in this.
How'd you find that out?
Oh, it's on IMDb.
Wow, good stuff.
And this one, yeah, he's playing American, of course. Well, he's American. And he's got a French wife, and they've just moved to this new town, and he's going to be taking up medicine there 'cause he's a doctor. And it turns out that his wife's a vampire, and they find that out because she keeps sneaking out at night, and she keeps feeding off this little boy. That's a bit
a bit off, isn't it, for that era?
Yeah. And then the other doctor conspires with Sutherland's character. What's his character name again? Bob.
Dr. Bob Carroll.
Yeah, Carroll. Yeah. To kill his wife, stake her through the heart. So he does so, and the doctor shows up with the cops, and he's like, "I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I never conspired with you to do this," and all that. And then the cops just arrest Donald Sutherland, and then they ask the doctor, "Oh, the cops ask the doctor, "Oh, do you want to lift in town?" He's like, "No, thanks, I'll walk." And then he just sort of breaks the fourth wall, and he's like, "There's only room in this town for one doctor and one vampire," and turns into a vampire and flies off.
But you know what makes some of these stories weak, Jesse? The writing?
It's the writing, it's the lack of depth, and it just feels lazy.
Yeah, well, the producer, Milton Subotsky, who was one of the heads of Amicus, wrote most of the stories apart from Papa Benjamin, or Voodoo, which is he's not much of a writer. They don't come across really well.
Yeah, like, thinking that you can base a story about a killer plant, like...
Yeah, but if it's a good story and it does, they do it well.
It worked in Little Shop of Horrors, I guess.
Yeah, well, that was a comedy though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know, but nah. And then in the prelude is, and then the epilogue is just, they all think they're probably going to survive because the train stops and they get off the train, and the train station's like this sort of like limbo kind of a land, and a newspaper like falls from the sky and they read it and it says 5 die in train crash, and they all just kind of walk off into the distance, sort of in the fashion of like Volta Horror, the ending of that. And that's pretty much Dr. Terror in a nutshell. And to be honest, Dave,
pretty weak, mate.
I don't know if I'll ever watch this movie again.
Neither do I ever.
I just don't feel any reason I need to have to revisit this one ever again, to be honest.
It says at the bottom of the entry in Wikipedia about the production. The film was a conscious attempt by Milton Subotsky, who was the like I said, the one of the founders of Amicus, to repeat the success of Dead at Night, which is a fantastic film, 1945. Subotsky considered that movie to be the greatest horror film ever, and he used it as a blueprint for Dr. Terror and the rest of Amicus's portmanteau films. The script began as a stillborn television series in 1948 and was rejected. I won't say that, it's not on there, but it was, during the time when Dead at Night was a recent release. So there you go. Pretty average, that was. And the next one on the cards is Torture Garden, May 1967.
There lies another world. The sinister world of Dr. Diabolo.
The real Torture Garden.
It is not for the faint of heart. Or what you find there will be more terrifying, more horrendous than your deepest, darkest dreams. Who has the courage to try it? You, Jack Palance. Have you the courage to face fate's heaven store for you? You, Burgess Meredith, as the devil incarnate. What horror will you next reveal? You, Beverly Adams, what lies beyond your dreams to bedevil your future? The Torture Garden. Many people walk the length of its terror.
No.
Wait! I'll do it! I'll do it!
This is the writer who shields the secrets of immortality.
Did you know that there are ways to raise the dead?
The rich man who'd sooner part with his life than his wealth.
The money.
The Torture Garden. It's where the devil calls the tune to play a concerto of fear.
There's a man out there with his head all...
You are trapped.
Directed by the ever bad, oh not bad, but he does a very incompetent job, Freddie Francis, and the stories were written by Mr. Robert Bloch. And 5 people visit a fairground sideshow run by showman Dr. Diablo, played by the great Burgess Meredith. Having shown them a handful of haunted house style attractions, he promises them a genuinely scary experience if they will pay extra. Their curiosity gets the better of them, and the small crowd follows him behind a curtain, where they each view their fate through the shears of an effigy of the female Daisy Atrabos, played by Clytie Jessup.
And this film stars the great Jack Palance, may he rest in peace, Burgess Meredith, Mickey himself, Beverly Adams, the great Peter Cushing, Michael Bryant, John Standing, and that's the I can't be bothered reading the rest.
No, don't worry about that, because it's a pretty weak one again, isn't it?
Oh, it's got some highlights.
One.
Not too shabby.
Who wants to start with this one then?
You can.
The first story is called Enoch. Great title, that. The greedy playboy, played by Deadly Dull.
Playboy?
Oh, sorry. Start that again. In Enoch, a greedy playboy, played by the deadly dull Michael Bryant, takes advantage of his dying uncle by fucking him up the arse. No, sorry. Sorry, I got Michael Jackson on the brain here.
You're fucked.
I should do a video cast one day with you, mate. In Enoch, a greedy playboy, played by the... In Enoch, a greedy playboy, played by the deadly dull Michael Bryant, takes advantage of his dying uncle, played by Maury Denham, and falls under the spell of a mean-eating pussy. And we started watching this, when was it, about 2 months ago?
Love me some pussy, Dave. Just gotta say.
Pussy, mate. No, it was about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Just after Christmas, I think.
Yeah, about that.
And we got about a quarter of the way through and we stopped. We were so bloody well bored with it.
Well, I wasn't bored, but you just kept talking. Well, we kept talking about Uncanny, and it made me want to watch that more. So we ended up watching that, which is another anthology, but it's not Amicus. But you'd think it was Amicus, wouldn't you, Dave?
Yeah, exactly.
It does feel like it's in the Amicus mould.
Yeah, but this one has just got nothing to it at all. It's just terribly dull.
I don't totally agree. There's a couple of good stories in this, man.
No, but this first one.
Oh yeah,
I don't like it at all.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like him. Michael
it reminds
Bryant.
me a little bit of that the pilot for Night Gallery with
Oh, Ronnie McDowell.
Ronnie McDowell, yeah. Where
and George
he
McCready
kills
is
his uncle, to take over the property.
And the paintings are alive.
Yeah, like a little bit of that. Not like the whole story,
yeah,
but just that part with the uncle and being a cunt to him and all that sort of stuff.
Kind of. No, that's a good story, that. This one just...
But yeah, he basically just kills his uncle and then finds... Well, he knows that... he says to his uncle that, you pay for everything in town with gold pieces and stuff, and there's a legend of an old witch living in this house and all that, and his uncle just tries to fob it off as a superstition, and he kills his uncle. Doesn't he poison him? Oh no, he has a heart attack.
Medicine, yeah,
that's right, yeah. And then he starts living in the house, and he meets this black cat, isn't it? Yeah, and then he finds out that the cat is got the spirit of the witch. What's the cat's name? He's got a really kind of interesting name, doesn't he?
Bitch. I can't remember now. Beers or Bub or something, isn't it? Some weird name.
Some sort of weird, sinister name. Anyway, he's got this way of making it feel like he's clawing inside of his head. He doesn't do what he tells him to, so he has to go out and get him victims and that.
Controls him.
And in return, he gives him a stash of gold coins and that, and he just murders like 2 people until the cops get wind of it, and now they lock him up, don't they?
I can't remember.
I think they lock him up, and then while he's locked up, I think the cat friggin' kills someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't really go.
No, it doesn't go anywhere.
Go anywhere really.
All right,
Dave. It's just stillborn.
It is, mate. Dead pussy. Go for it, Jesse.
And the next segment is Terror Over Hollywood, starring Beverly Adams, and she's an up-and-coming actress, which she's trying to get into the acting game, and she friggin' fucks up her
roommate's
dress, deliberately, because she finds out that she's going to go on a date with this, like, was he like
producer?
Yeah, that's right. He's an older guy too. And she actually, the girl who plays her roommate, she's got her own story about the piano.
Oh, is that her?
Later on, it's the same actress, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. And, she goes in her place, and she ends up meeting this guy who's an actor. He looks familiar, that guy too, he looks like a 70s porn star with that porn stash.
He does.
I've seen him in something before. I don't know what it is, but he looks familiar.
Hey, man.
It looks like the English version of what was the dude's name who was from Magnum P.I.?
Magnum P.I. The fuck's... Tom Selleck.
Yeah, it reminds me of like an English version of Tom Selleck. And he has a car accident, and he's all right. And she's like, "Yeah, what do you mean he's all right? Friggin', he's half his face got like melted off or whatever." And then, you find out that they're they're androids.
Yeah,
they're not full on robots, but they're androids.
Is that not? That's
how they don't age, because their faces are fake.
You're not going to go to the end, are you?
What do you mean?
Spoil it.
Yeah, of course.
Who cares?
Well, she finds out what's really going on in Hollywood, so they force her to join. They make her into her android, and then it's supposed to be like probably 20 years later or something, I guess, because she's on the red carpet promoting a new film, and then one of the reporters, you can hear them saying like, she never ages and all that. So I don't mind this story. It's all right.
It's okay.
It's got some good moments to it.
Better than the other one. All right,
but there's just not. Besides what I just said about the plot, there's not much else that really happens.
But I thought there's another well-known actor in this who he plays the producer, and he's not coming up on the credits there, which is unusual.
Oh, okay.
He was around in the 1940s, Robert somebody. Okay, is that it, Warner?
So what do you don't think much of this story, Dave?
No, it's okay. It's bearable.
That's not bad.
Maybe if they did it on Tales from the Crypt, the TV show, it might have been a bit better.
I could see that working, yeah.
All right. Next one is in Mr. Steinway, a possessed grand piano by the name of Utopia.
Or is it Utopia? Utopia, yeah.
Utopia, yeah. Becomes jealous of its owner, played by John Standing's new lover, Barbara Ewing, and takes revenge. This is pretty weak. About and then they made a piano.
It's sort of like the lame version of Christine.
Yeah, so the lame version of that fucking
instead of a car, it's a possessed friggin' piano.
Oh, it's pretty weak. It's got no tension, no kind of drama, no likeable characters.
Well, that piano's just jealous of his new girlfriend, which is the roommate from the last story.
And the worst thing about this film, though, even though it's directed by Freddie Francis, who should have had a hand in the cinematography, for Christ's sake, it's just very badly filmed by Norman Warwick. The shots aren't very well bloody framed. It's very poor. Not a fan of that at all.
Yeah, well, it ends up just killing her, doesn't it?
Yeah, big deal.
And then it plays that friggin' like really like overused death theme.
The funeral march. Dum 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 dum. It's called the funeral march. Yeah, it's pretty average. That's enough on that one.
Yeah.
All right. You sound tired, Jesse.
Yeah, this movie's killing my brain.
We'll get to something a bit more brighter in a minute.
No, and the last segment, which I'd say is the best one, is The Man Who Collected Poe, starring Jack Palance and Peter Cushing. And I quite like this story. It's got some really good atmosphere about it.
Mm.
And, yeah, of course, Peter Cushing is hosting like a party, isn't it? And it's for like Poe fans and stuff.
Collectors.
And he's like the ultimate Poe collector. He's like got everything, like everything he ever written and everything. And Jack Palance is like sort of a really, like sort of eccentric kind of out there kind of dude that he's obsessed with Poe.
Mm.
You know, and then sort of everyone leaves, and I think Peter Cushing's character tells him to stick around, and then they end up having a drink and swapping stories about Poe, and he's like showing him some of the rare books, and Jack Palance's character's like, you know, would you want to sell any of these? And he's like, oh no, my collection must stay completed, you know? And then like he starts showing like these like manuscripts done by Poe where it's not even friggin' being published, and
new stories.
Yeah, and he's like, these look like they're written on new paper and all that sort of stuff. And he's like, oh no, you're mistaken, and that. And he's like, oh you're. And then he's like tries to close up shop Peter Cushing's character and like get rid of Jack Palance's character. He's like, no, you're hiding more treasures from me. And he friggin' stumbles across this secret room that's friggin' got Poe inside of it.
Yeah, is it the spirit of Poe, or is it actually Poe?
I think it's supposed to be the spirit, because doesn't he mention that like his dad or something, or someone in his family like practiced witchcraft?
I can't remember.
Peter Cushing's character, and they collected Poe himself, like his ashes, and they did black magic to like conjure his spirit or whatever. I thought that was pretty creepy, man.
Yeah,
like
it was when
Poe shows up and stuff. Like, some creepy stuff, and then he wants Jack Palance's character to free him, so by like burning up the mansion, because he kills Cushing, doesn't he? Like hits him over the head or something.
That's it.
Yeah, and then he burns up the house, but then he ends up burning up with it. Jack Palance's character. That's not a bad story.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's the best one in the collection.
Pretty creepy, like I said.
That one and Terror Over Hollywood aren't too bad.
Yeah, but overall, this is a film I revisit sometimes. You know, the wraparound story is not bad with Burgess Meredith. He ends up being the devil, revealed as the devil at the end. And
so at the end, in the epilogue, the fifth patron, Michael Ripper, who doesn't have a story, but he appears in heaps
in on the gag.
Yeah, but he appears in heaps of Hammer movies too, a supporting actor. Goes berserk and uses the shears of Atrobos to kill Dr. Diablo in front of the others.
Yeah, I mean, I rate this more than like way over Dr.
What would you give it?
Oh, it's like a normal recommend. I recommend people see it. You know, it's got some highlights in it, like I just said.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll give it maybe 2.5 out of 5. 2.5 for the 2 good stories or okay stories.
2.5 tits.
2.5 tits. What did you give it? Just a weak recommend?
It's like borderline weak. Show my hand here early, folks, but next up we're going to talk about House Crypt Blood, and this is my favourite of all the Amicus horror anthologies.
This house is full of sounds. The loudest is your heart pounding in the night. The softest is the sound of terror.
Isn't...
Oh, Charles.
No, please.
In this house, terror waits for you in every room.
Where are they? You must search the house, but you must find that doll.
Voodoo, vixens, and victims. You'll find them all in the house that dripped blood.
And the plot is, and this is directed by Peter DeFell and written by the great Robert Bloch, who wrote Psycho, of course, which is an absolute out-and-out classic. And the plot basically is a house that really has a bad reputation. Anyone who lives there just befalls a very sad end. And there's 5 stories, isn't there, Dave? I think 5.
Sorry, mate. I just checked. I thought it was only 4. And what year was this released, Jesse?
This was released in 1971, Dave, and it stars Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Ingrid Pitt, the beautiful Ingrid Pitt. She just died, didn't she? Not all.
Maybe about 8 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was only like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Time flies.
Go.
John Pertwee?
Pertwee,
yeah. Pertwee, yeah. Denham Elliott, good actor.
Mm-hmm.
And, I said, so there's 4 stories, yeah?
4, yep.
Yeah. And, basically is the real estate agent guy. He just, shows them all the house and, gives them a little bit of the reputation of the house, and kind of warns them maybe you shouldn't try to live here, but none of them listen. Yeah. And the first story is Method for Madness, and the first story is called Method for Murder, and it stars Denham Elliott, and he's a horror writer, which I'm aspiring to try to be. And he comes up with a story with a psychopath by the name of Dominic. And this is a very creepy story.
Oh, it's brilliant. I remember me and you watched this on one of my first projectors in my room at Caramel Street in Chadstone. About how long ago was it, Jesse?
Oh, it's probably
25 years ago?
A couple of decades ago or something.
Yeah, and a really great atmosphere, like I said.
Yeah, I also want to mention, I love the opening for this, the score. You get those shots of the streets, and you got that, sounds like, what would it be, like a xylophone?
Yeah.
Some sort of instrument like that.
And the score was written by Michael Dress. Never heard of him.
Very good score. Very well done. And it's a really good story, this one. It basically has got a bit of a twist at the end where the wife's in on it. She set it all up with her boyfriend to drive him nuts. and all that sort of thing. And he keeps having Denham Elliott's character keeps having visions of Dominic. Like he'll draw a picture of Dominic, and try to throw it away in a river. That's a really nice moment, and Dominic picks it up. Yeah, I always thought Dominic looked really creepy too, like that shot where
the look.
It's from outside the window.
Oh,
like sometimes, like to this day, man. Like if I'm sitting in my lounge room or whatever, and I look out a window.
Oh,
like I often think, like, shit, man. Like, what if I looked out this window and
that head was there?
Fucking Dominic cunt was like fucking staring at me.
The short haircut and the fringe.
Yeah, and just
and
that grin that he does,
and that gaunt face. She had the teeth especially. They get you, don't they?
I reckon Dominic would like make a good slasher killer, hey? Like in a modern day slasher movie.
He would have to wear a damn mask. It'd be just the average Joe, like Norman Bates' character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But his wife, though, what a bitch, hey? Like, it's not bad enough she wants his money. She's got to drive him insane. But the twist is that friggin' her boyfriend, who's the actor who's been Dominic,
and he's
the house
nuts.
makes him go insane.
Yeah, well done.
Reflects his personality or whatever, and. Yeah, he ends
love it, mate.
Killing Denham Elliott's character and the psychiatrist he's seeing as well. But I love that scene at the end. I just love the way that plays out, where he shows up at the house and he explains to her that he's bumped them both off, and she's like, "But that wasn't the plan."
Yeah,
the plan was his name, like Richard, I think.
Something like that.
Denham Elliott's character. He's like, the plan was to get him committed, get Richard committed. And he's like, oh, it was easier than I would have imagined. But you don't understand, I'll be looking for a killer now. Richard? No, his name's Richard. That's
right.
The guy that's been Dominic. He's like, Richard? I don't recall anyone named Richard. My name's Dominic.
Yeah.
That creepy laugh that he did. And like the way that, as the story finishes, the way the cop tells the
real estate agent, isn't it?
No, it's one cop telling the real estate agent doesn't turn up until a little bit later. He's in the police station, and that cop who's from Scotland Yard. He's the
inspector.
The inspector. The cop from that town is like talking to him at the end. Like he's like, we found him like laughing maniacally over a body. That's creepy, man. Some creepy stuff.
That's a good episode, that one. Segment.
Just very well told. It just goes to show that Rob Block could turn into a good story, Dave.
Good stuff,
I really enjoy it.
So did I. I'll give that one about maybe a 5, I think.
Oh yeah, it's very, very solid. It's
got atmosphere by the load. That one.
It's arguably my favourite out of all these,
especially watching this stuff on a lovely dark and rainy night, and the rain's blasting at the window, and you got the heater on full blast.
Perfect atmosphere.
Fantastic stuff.
As Dave McRae would say, mood and atmosphere.
Yes, mate, the important bits, mate. All right, the next one is called Waxworks. A retired stockbroker, played by the great and wonderful Peter Cushing, and his friend Josh Ackland become fixated with a macabre waxworks museum that appears to contain a model of a lady they both knew.
Yeah, this story, my opinion sways back and forth like a pendulum with this one. Sometimes when I watch it, I kind of really enjoy it, and other times I'm just like, it's average, whatever. Peter Cushing's really good.
He's always good.
He's always good. So it's it goes without saying. But I do think the Wax Museum's quite creepy.
Well, the lady who plays the figure of Salome, Chloe...
Salome, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes they pronounce it Salome, is Chloe Jessup, who appears as the Atropos in Torture Garden with the shears.
Oh,
that's
that
her.
The same?
And she's in The Innocents. She plays the ghost of Miss Jessup.
Interesting.
Chloe, whatever.
So that statue there in Torture looks pretty different though to that Salome.
Yeah, that's her.
Same actress. Really the same person.
Yeah, Chloe Jessup. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's okay. It's got some good things about it, but like you said, you got to be in the right mood to really enjoy it, I think.
Well, one thing I don't know if I've ever brought this up, Dave, but the climax of this segment where Peter Cushing's pretty much fighting for his life against the owner of the
Josh Ackland,
the owner of the Wax Museum.
I know his friend.
There's a few movies where Peter Cushing, I'm pretty sure it happens in a few of the Dracula films, and it also happens in his segment in Asylum. There's always a scene where Peter Cushing's struggling.
Yeah, he gets
with
attacked.
The other he's getting attacked, and then they're like struggling, and like because he had really wavy hair.
Yeah,
Peter Cushing, he's like his hair's always getting flowing around.
That's his action scene.
Yeah, it's like really cinematic, but in like a kind of amusing, comical way.
Well, I told you like before that Cushing always had a hand in the scripts.
Yeah.
Which is good on him, you know. He's a great performer and a
smart man.
Yeah, what do you say, smart man?
No, smart man.
A smart man, very clever man. Yeah, like I said, it's okay. It's watchable. But
I do think, story, like I said, I think, the Wax Museum itself's freaky, and then doesn't he have like a nightmare, Peter Cushing, where he's going through it, and it's got that very atmospheric music and that, and it's very well lit with like a lot of reds and greens while he's walking through. I think that's
good.
Very
the lighting,
like and creepy. And I like that moment too, where he's walking along the city streets and he's sort of reminiscing about his past love that he misses, along with like his friend Neville. I think his friend.
It's Josh Ackland.
I always like that name, Neville.
Neville
always sounds sinister to me. Neville,
like evil.
Never trust a guy named Neville.
Yeah, because take the N off, it's evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or evil.
Yeah, he's like reminiscing about remembering her, and then he's walking along the street, and he bumps into that couple.
Yeah.
And there's like a moment where it's like it kind of takes him back to like when he was with her, sort of thing, and you kind of you feel for the guy. So I mean, it really shows that Peter Cushing can, even with very little screen time, he can really get you to feel for his
draws
character.
You in, doesn't it? You feel sympathy for him.
But yeah, it's a decent little tale. I don't mind
it's
this
okay
one.
for a short thing like that.
Yeah. And the next segment is Sweets to the Sweet, and that stars Christopher Lee, and he's got a young daughter, and she's maybe about 5-6 years old.
Played by Chloe Franks.
Good little actress, and she's also turns up later on in The Uncanny
as an evil little bitch.
Yeah, you haven't got a mummy, you haven't got a daddy, you haven't got anybody. But this is a really creepy little tale. I like this one a lot. She's a pretty talented little actress. I think she does a lot with her face.
Yeah,
she's
not much
good
dialogue.
At playing a really sinister kind of character with not much dialogue.
Yeah, though she doesn't look sinister. She's a pretty little thing with that long blonde hair.
Yeah, but there's some moments where she's kind of like, this is her expressions. Like,
no, but I mean, she's not ugly or anything. She's pretty.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
cute kid. And, basically, he hates the memory of his wife, Christopher Lee's character, because she was a witch. And he treats his daughter pretty badly, and at first you're like, why is he being cruel to his daughter? Like, you think he's just being a dick for no reason? And he's like, he knows, man, that she's going to probably become a witch herself. And he hires a private teacher to, give her studies and stuff, and they form a very good friendship and stuff, and they take, little trips outside, and she's getting there's really kind of cute scene where she's getting her to name, like, all the different names of the trees and all that sort of stuff. And I think at the end of that scene, she's like, do you want to go in and have supper now? And she's like, all right. I always thought that was kind of cute. But, yeah, she ends up finding a book about witchcraft, doesn't she? And she gets the idea to make the wax figure of her papa with getting some of his razor cuttings, all that from his electric razor.
Shavings and that, yeah.
Shavings, yeah. And, she forms the doll and starts needling him with it. And all that. And he goes and sees a physician, and he's like, oh, you seem fine. And he goes back to the house, and he tells the teacher, like, I think she's going to be a witch like her mum. And she doesn't really believe her or anything. And then she starts attacking him again. He's like, you must get the doll. I'm like, I know there is a moment like where I forgot about that, where he figures out that she's taken a couple of the candles, eh?
Yeah.
And he's like, there's only 3 of them. There's supposed to be 5 of them. She's just like looking at him. She won't reply. He's like, answer me. He friggin' slaps her one. And then, yeah, he just thinks that the teacher just thinks that he's being a real arse to her. And then, like, she thinks it's weird, like, how he won't let her have dolls and all that. And there's that one moment where she does buy the doll, remember?
Yeah.
And he goes, what's this? And he throws it in the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, yeah, like I said before, she starts torturing him with the...
great twist, though, isn't it?
The wax figure. Twist?
Yeah, when you find out what she's been up to. Getting revenge back on her father.
It's a twist.
When you know that, well, you know, she's powerful, she's a witch.
Yeah, but that's sort of set up, Dave. I wouldn't say it's a twist.
Oh, no.
I would
didn't catch on.
I wouldn't say it's a twist.
Yeah.
I think when I first saw this, I was probably like 7 or 8, and I was like, within the first few minutes, I'm like, yeah, she's a witch, and she's probably going to exact revenge from it against her dad for treating her this way.
I didn't catch on because I was too disturbed by looking up Christopher Lee's nose hairs.
Here's an interesting question, eh? Like, do you think that she would have done those things if he hadn't have been such a prick to her?
No.
She probably wouldn't have.
No.
Even if she hadn't discovered the book and all that, she might have, like, maybe tried to still practice witchcraft, but I don't know if she would have tried to torture her dad, because, like, if he had been nice to her, like, I don't think she would have, man. Actually, I don't think I've ever really thought about that so much, actually, from that angle, but that's quite interesting.
It's a good story, that.
And you can give the details on the last story, Dave.
And the last one is called The Cloak. A temperamental horror film actor, Paul Henderson, played by the very talented John Pertwee, moves into the house while starring temperamental horror film actor Paul Henderson, John Pertwee, always good, moves into the house while starring in a vampire film being shot nearby. He buys a black coat from a peculiar shopkeeper, played by the very talented Jeffrey Bowden, to use as his film character's costume. The cloak seems to instill in its wearer strange powers, something Paul's co-star, played by the very beautiful and buxom Ingrid Pitt, quickly discovers.
Jeffrey Bowden, Dave?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And he just passed. And you've got to see him in Catweasel, mate. It's a brilliant show.
Yeah,
he plays a wizard lost in our time. He from the medieval times comes to our time. Anyway,
he just died, didn't he? Like about
he's in his 90s now. He's 95
a year ago or something.
And the last thing we saw him in was this very good documentary on Amicus. Remember, he hosted that.
I want to rewatch that. I wanted to rewatch that for this, but
have you got that on your set?
I couldn't find it. I'm not. No, it didn't come with my set. It was made after that.
I'll redo it for you, mate.
Yeah, I want to see that again. Good.
It's 2 discs, I think.
It's like independently made, that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, because sometimes the sound is off. You remember, they didn't do looping too well.
Oh, okay.
There's one sequence there where interviewing an actress, I think, and there's a lot of background noise, but apart from that, it's fine.
Yeah.
But this is a good story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very atmospheric, this one, and I really like John Pertwee in it. He's good. He's famous for being Doctor Who, eh?
And he was another show called... I can't remember the name of it now. Anyway, go on, son. Wurzel Gummidge.
Yeah.
Which is, he played a scarecrow.
Jeffrey Bowden, he's creepy in the one scene he has, in the store. Yeah. Like, he just looks like he's dead. It looks like a friggin' ghoul, you know? Just his line of dialogue where, like, I love where, he's asking him, you know, or telling him, like, how he's an actor and he's looking for, a prop and all that, and he shows him the cloak and, he's like, he's telling him he's an actor, and he's like, I can't remember exactly what Jeffrey Bowden's character says, but he says something like, it's basically like, I don't watch movies, but he uses some sort of really, like, posh kind of term for it. Yeah, the scene that Jeffrey Bowden's in,
it's proprietary of the shop.
Yeah, where he's having the conversation in the store with Jeffrey Bowden. He's like explaining to him that he's an actor and whatnot, and he's looking for a prop, and he gives him the cloak, of course, and he's telling him that he's an actor, and he uses some sort of real posh kind of term, Jeffrey Bowden. I'm not sure what it is, but it basically he says I don't watch movies, and he gives him this look.
Oh,
yeah, but I wish I could remember the line of dialogue that he actually uses because it's like the words. They're like words you don't really. He's like I don't like stare at the
screen.
No, something like it's some kind of. I think it starts with C or something.
Is it a put down?
Sort of, yeah. He's like, I don't stare at the counter or something.
Oh, okay.
Sort of...
The kinema.
The kinema.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because, there's a clue there. Because this story is set, it's a contemporary story, right? Set in the time the film was made. Right? So, Jeffrey Bowden's character, it seems like he's from another era. Maybe from the 20s, or because that's what they used to call the cinema. The kinema.
Oh,
back in the 1910s when it was first took off. The kinema, it starts with a K, Kinema.
I love the
So
moment.
he's dead.
Yeah, I love the look he gives him too, and he looks at him like he's really offended by it.
Yeah.
And then I like where he gets to the studio, and he really hates the set because it looks cheap as.
So I put that bit in. Yeah. The dialogue, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I love the yeah. Let me start again. And I love the. I think it's a scene that takes place just after that, where he's at the studio and he's like really pissed off because the studio looks really cheap, and the set just looks bad.
Doesn't he hit the wall and it smashes?
Yeah. Well, he goes, look at it. It's so flimsy you could blow peas through it, and he starts hitting it.
Paper mache.
Yeah, and then there's this guy that walks by, and I think he's supposed to be like Igor, and he's like, oh God. He's like, if I continue to keep working for this studio, I shall wind up looking like him. That cracks me up every time.
Good, isn't he?
And then he's like dissing the director. He's like, how many movies have you made? And he's like, actually, this is my second. And there's this guy, I swear, the director, he looks like he's right out of the band The Monkees.
What?
He looks like he could like fit into that band. I don't know what it is about him. He just looks like those sort of dudes. And yeah, he's like, this is my second movie. And they're like, he's just looking at him like, yeah, man, whatever. And then he just goes through his trailer and he's like looking at the script, and the title of the film is Curse of the Bloodsuckers. It's a nice little
There's a
moment.
clue there, isn't it?
And what about that? There's another moment too. I think it's like earlier on in that scene where he's going off about the set. Like he's like, it doesn't look like the ones in the old movies, like Frankenstein, Dracula, Bela Lugosi, not this new fella. It's a nice little dig.
It's a dig at Mr. Lee.
Christopher Lee, yeah. But it is a really enjoyable story.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of comedy in there, hasn't it? Not too straight. And the other three were pretty well horror.
Ingrid Pitt does well in it.
She's fantastic, isn't she?
She's got a lot of charisma, that girl.
Oh, mate! Not only that, she's got two big ones as well.
Yeah, she's got a.
She's well stacked, that lady.
Couple of lovely attributes, should we say? You know,
one atro and two brutes.
But yeah,
what that? One atro, two buttes.
It concludes with well, really, he puts on the I should mention that. He puts on the cape and he like pretty much becomes a vampire. And
he starts floating, doesn't he?
No, first he accidentally bites Ingrid Pitt on the set.
Oh, that's right.
And then they end up back at his house, and he's trying to tell her that the cape is cursed, and anyone who wears it becomes a vampire. The stroke of midnight, I think it is. Yeah, and. Yeah, she just tries to fob it off. There's one thing, I don't know if I've ever discussed this with you, that I kind of don't get. Well, at the end, right, where he's explaining it to her, and she's like, I don't believe you. She's like, prove it to me, so he puts it on, and he doesn't turn into a vampire, and he's like, I don't understand it. She's like, well, that's not the real one, this is. And he's like, don't put that on, Carla. And then she puts it on, and then she's like, we love your movie so much, we wanted you to become one of us. Welcome to the club. But that's insinuating that she was already a vampire.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't get that.
I know, because there's no kind of clues there, is there?
No, there's nothing, and especially
Comes
at
out
the
of nowhere.
beginning of that segment,
Yeah.
when they go looking at the house, it's in broad daylight.
Mm.
So how the hell is she, if she's already a vampire, how's she getting around in broad daylight? So what, did she become a vampire
After that?
somewhere
maybe.
in between the story?
There must be a cut scene there somewhere.
Possibly,
It
yeah.
gives you an inkling, but it
I don't
didn't.
know though. I don't know if there would be, man, because I think it's meant to be like a twist.
Yeah, but it doesn't quite come off, does it?
No, because like I said,
No build up to it.
It just it doesn't.
But it's still
I mean,
good,
it's an effective scene.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
good.
it. I'm just saying it's always kind of bothered me that little
But it
thing.
is good though. Apart from
Oh
that.
yeah. I quite enjoy the story. It's a solid story, man.
And I read somewhere that Vincent Price was originally going to be cast in the John Pertwee part.
Yeah, I think I had that too. That would have been very interesting.
And he's tied up with something else.
I actually probably would have preferred that.
But no, altogether, a well-balanced collection of stories there and performances. And it had a budget, I think, of 150. Where are we? So just go up, just pause a bit. I always like to put the budget in. The budget was $500,000.
Gee, that's
Half a
about
million.
the same budget as the original Friday the 13th, man. It was made like friggin' nearly 10 years after this. It's crazy.
Yeah, and at the end of the entry in Wikipedia, it says, Freddie Francis, thank God he didn't do it, was wanted for the director's chair, but he had prior commitments in Hollywood. And the originally director, Peter DeFell, wanted to have the title Death and the Maiden to be used, and Milton Soboski insisted on the house to drip blood, telling DeFell, we're in the marketplace, we have to use that title. Not one drop of blood appears in the actual film. When Peter DeFell was engaged, the participation of actors Lee, Cushing and Pitt had already been decided by the producers. All the other actors were cast by DeFell.
Yeah, and then the wraparound, like the end of the wraparound, the inspector goes back to the house and he's there as a vampire.
Mm.
And then, him and Ingrid Pitt are there as a vampire, and he ends up, he kills him, doesn't he? But Ingrid Pitt gets him.
Yeah.
That's
Doesn't he
right.
talk to the camera, the real estate guy?
No, that's before that. And then the real estate guy comes on at the very end, and yeah, he's pretty much explaining like why everyone who lives there, has it comes to their demise because the house reflects their personalities. And he's like, it's a nice house, and he's like, if you're the right kind of person.
That's it.
Is there anybody though that can survive like this? Everyone's got some sort of issue about them.
Yeah. But no, I give that maybe a 5.
What, as a whole or just that?
As a whole.
Yeah, as a whole, it's a very strong recommend for me. I love this film. I think the producer too was his favourite of all the
Soboski.
Amicus, all the Amicus films.
Wow. And the next one on the agenda is Tales from the Crypt. Made in 1972, directed by Freddie Francis, and he does not a bad job on this one.
From the Crypt. Welcome to the Crypt. You are invited on a guided tour of a world of darkness, where nightmares become reality. Secrets, if you dare.
Danger. How to
next? Perhaps you?
And there's 5 segments in this, all based on the EC comics. And I'm just trying to find the screenplay. Oh, now these were based on stories from the actual comics by Johnny Craig, L. Feldstein, or Stein, and William M. Gaines. No Robert Blocks in this lot. And the wraparound is 5 strangers go into a tourist... Oh, sorry. Intro is 5 strangers go with a tourist group to view old catacombs. Separated from the main group, they find themselves in a room with a mysterious crypt keeper, played by the very talented Ralph Richardson, who details how each of the strangers may die.
I never got why they were going to visit these catacombs. They never really gave
just like a tourist attraction or something.
Yeah, but don't they all claim to like be in a hurry to get somewhere though?
Yeah, I know, but... And all through the house, Joan Clayton, played by Joan Collins, kills her husband on Christmas Eve. She prepares to hide his body, but hears a radio announcement stating that a homicidal maniac, played by Oliver McGreevy, is on the loose. She sees the killer, who is dressed in a Santa Claus costume, outside her house. They cannot call the police without exposing her own crimes. After cleaning up her crime, Joanne finally attempts to call the police. However, her young daughter, played again by Chloe Franks from The House of Drip Blood, believing the maniac to be Santa, unlocks the door and lets him into the house, whereupon he starts to strangle Joanna to death.
Hey Dave, the remake's better.
Yes, it is better. Well, there you go, Freddie Francis, mate. Flat.
I mean...
And dude, too much paint.
Don't get me wrong, this is good, but the remake is far superior.
It's excellent. Got a little bit
remake, do you know who the remake was directed by?
Zemeckis, wasn't it?
Yeah, Zemeckis directed the remake.
Yeah. And too much paint in this too.
Yeah, the blood's kind of
it's too bright.
It's too bright, and you get that in so many older horror films, though.
Yeah, true.
But it's a good little tale, eh?
Yeah, it's alright.
The guy who plays Santa, though, I just don't think he's threatening enough. He just looks like this old dude that you could just flick over.
Yeah, there's nothing intimidating about
like, if he came breaking through my door with an axe, like, I'd just turn around, like, with a brandy in hand, I'd be like, dude, just fuck off.
And just kick him in the cunt.
I'd just kick him up the arse, like, get the fuck out of my house, you old fart.
Yeah, pretty average.
But I like the concept, though.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, they really improved on it with that remake.
Oh, that's awesome. That from the TV... Wasn't the TV series?
Yeah, yeah.
It was a pilot, wasn't it?
I think it was a pilot, yeah. Who plays... there's Larry Drake in it.
Yes,
Who plays,
Larry Drake. Fantastic.
He's
He's brilliant, isn't he? Compared to this old...
Naughty! Oh, nice!
Oh, mate. He's awesome. He just died, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got to see
He's like a cockroach. You think you kill him, and it pops up someplace else.
Excellent. You've got to see Night of the Scarecrow. You've never seen it, have you?
No, I started watching it years ago, but I got interrupted and never got back.
I've got a copy of it.
And I've never seen this other slasher he was in called Dr. Giggles.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's okay.
It.
It's okay. He's just like a maniacal doctor, you know.
Yeah, I've seen that. There's like another one called X-Ray that's
he's
sort
a dentist, I think.
Same sort of plot.
Yeah, is that all you got to say about that one?
Well, this one's very cut and dry. Like you kind of said everything that happens in the plot.
Yeah.
It's good. It does have some good atmosphere.
You like her, Joan Collins?
Yeah, Joan Collins is good, but I don't really know her from anything else. Really.
Yeah, she's in City on the Edge of Forever. Great Star Trek episode. She plays the woman that Kirk falls in love with.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course.
And she was in a lot of stuff by Fox made in the 1950s and stuff, and semi-porn stuff later on.
Really?
Yeah, things like The Bitch. You know that in the 70s, I think.
No.
She's still around. She would be in the late 80s now, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's okay.
No, but good tale, man. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's alright.
Just like I said, it's just overshadowed by the remake. And the next segment is Reflections of Death. Starring Ian Henry. He's playing Carl Maitland, and basically he wants to run off with this young hottie and doesn't want to be with his family anymore, and they have a car accident, and he thinks a few minutes have passed since the car accident. He goes to his family's home, and his wife's like remarried and everything, and She opens the door and she gets like a shock when she sees him, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" and all that sort of stuff, and you don't know, is he like, maybe is he disfigured or something from the accident? Like maybe he's like got blood all over him or whatnot. And yeah, long story short, he goes and he finds his girlfriend, and he finds out that she's blind, and that one shot, that iconic shot of him looking over at the frigging coffee table, the glass table, and he finds out that he's a frigging ghoul.
Oh,
creepy
fudge.
stuff, Dave.
But even the sequence there where he's walking to the house and it's a POV shot, it is freaking awesome. The music, the lighting, everything about that stuff. It's just short and sharp, isn't it?
It's very sharp, very good episode, a very good segment.
Love that episode. I love that segment. Yeah, mate. Oh, the nightmare stuff. Just imagine if it would happen to you.
I think maybe the first time I ever saw this film was with you, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like one of those Amicus ones that we didn't get until much later on, because I never had it on video as a kid.
No, I think I didn't.
And I don't remember ever seeing it at the video. So I think maybe it might have been when you had cable back in the day. I think you copied it off cable, and that's how we saw it, I think.
Yeah, I did too. I think it was on Foxtel. Yeah. But no, it's only about maybe just under 10 minutes, I think, isn't it?
So, yeah.
Usually around 25 minutes, 20 minutes each. But no, I highly recommended that one.
The makeup too on him is very well.
Oh, it is bloody awesome,
mate.
Whew! And I could still see that image of him looking down on his reflection and screaming. And then he wakes up, doesn't he? Oh, and that's the thing. He wakes up and he's in the car.
Yeah, that's right. And then they do have the accident.
Yeah, it all comes like a loop, like Dead of Night.
Very kind of Final Destination-ish.
But yeah, very good segment. I love it. And the next segment is called Poetic Justice. Edward Elliot, played by David Markham, and his son James, played by Robin Phillips. Start again. Got no slur here. Poetic Justice is the next segment. Edward Elliot, played by David Markham, and his son James, Robin Phillips, are a snobbish pair who resent their neighbour, dustman Arthur Grimsdyke, played by Peter Cushing, who owns a number of dogs and entertains children in his house. James, in particular, strongly detests the old man. So they plot to get rid of him, especially the son, cause him to commit suicide. And there's a massive revenge on these two pricks, especially the son. So this is one of the best segments in this film.
Yeah, well, like I was saying earlier, the personality of his character in this Cushion is very much to what I reckon he would have been like in real life.
Yeah, just a kind, gentle.
Yeah,
man.
He's like a poor man's Michael Jackson kind of in this, isn't he? When you think about it.
Oh yeah,
he's making them toys and all that sort of stuff, and he's like loved by.
He's lonely though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's lonely. Well, Michael Jackson was lonely.
And wasn't this made about the time his wife passed away?
I think so. Yeah. I think it was not long before.
That's right. Yeah.
But he's a real prick, isn't he? The son.
Robin Phillips. He's an absolute arsehole.
He uses every angle he can to get at this guy. Make sure his dogs get all taken away. Then he spreads the rumour that he's like? I think he actually suggests, doesn't he, that he could be a pedophile or something.
Yeah, it says there. Then persuading a member of the council to have him removed from his job, and later exploiting the parents' paranoid fears about child molestation.
Yeah, and that's really messed up, man. That one part where he's like looking out the window at Grimsdyke, and he's like, "Oh dear, I do believe Grimsdyke's out of a job."
Oh, mate, wouldn't you like to just pound that guy's head in?
The name Grimsdyke, that sounds familiar. I think I've heard that in some other movie.
Yeah,
but it sounds like
Grimsdale.
Grimsdale. What's that?
Yeah, that rings a bell too.
Is that the one with Norman Winston?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Pitkin Mr. Grimsdale, his boss, played by Edward Chapman. Yeah, that's it. You got that. Good one, mate. Hey, now isn't that strange? Norman Winston never appeared in a horror. That would have been interesting, wouldn't it?
He was an English actor around that period, so
yeah,
it would have been interesting. But yeah, it's a really well told tale. This one again, you know. There's that really good little moment where he's with the kids, and I think it's when he's with the kids, isn't it? And he's telling them that little story about the birds or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
fly
that's
away,
it.
Peter.
Fly away, Paul.
Just like a really gentle soul, man.
Yeah,
Peter Cushing. Would have loved to have hung out with him and had a wine or something, you know.
Yeah, it would have been
Even
great
though I
as
don't
a grandfather.
drink wine. Yeah.
Well, white wine. Have you had white wine?
Oh, like very rarely.
I love white wine. I don't like red wine. It's too strong. Vinegary, but white wine. But yeah, and I like
then he sends him all the letters.
Oh, yeah. I hate mail.
Oh, he's reading him. He's like, I don't think I like these.
No. Oh, you feel for men, don't you?
I know, it's just sad. He's all alone.
The way that he reads, just he comes across.
Yeah.
He's reading the script.
But what goes around
comes
around.
a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it say there? It says 1 year later, Grimsdyke comes back from the dead and takes revenge on James. The following morning, Edward finds his son dead with a note that said, Happy Valentine's Day. You were mean and cruel right from the start. Now you really have no
heart.
Ed was the fold in the end of the note and realised the final word is heart, represented by James' heart, which has been torn from his body while still beating.
Yeah, it gets him back because he sent him all these Valentine's cards that had friggin' rhymes about him smelling and whatnot.
Nasty stuff.
But he looks good when he's the ghoul, eh?
Oh, mate, the eye sockets.
It's creepy stuff. It's a good segment. I recommend.
Very
it.
memorable, that one.
Yep.
Did a good job, Mr. Francis. The one about the monkey's paw.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
But it's a figurine. He comes back to life,
Yeah,
but he's in pain because
yeah.
he's got the formaldehyde in him.
And next up's Wish You Were Here, and this is the classic monkey's paw tale. A couple have a statue. They're statue collectors. And they try to make wishes with it because they're going to lose their fortune, I think, by not paying their taxes or something or other.
Mm.
And they wish for a lot of money, and they get it by one of their relatives who's passed away, don't they?
Well, it should. It says they wish, and surprisingly, it comes true. Yeah. Didn't say what it's from.
I think it's like his brother or something dies and leaves them money.
Yeah.
And then on his way to get the money, he gets in a car accident, and he dies.
Yeah.
The husband. And then she wishes for him to be alive again. And he's alive, but he's got friggin' formaldehyde right through his body.
And he's screaming in pain.
Oh, the way he's a good actor too. The way
Richard
he's
Green.
screaming, like you really believe he's in pain.
He's a very good actor. He appeared in a lot of stuff in the 1930s and the 40s.
Before.
And he was in the TV series Robin Hood, made in the 50s. Very, very good actor.
But yeah, not a lot to this one. Basically, we've just said everything that happens in it. But
they try and hack him up, and he's still screaming.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they do try to hack him up. Yeah.
Remember seeing this? I saw this in the theatre when it came out, like we said earlier. And I'd never seen this in the movie before. When she slams the axe into his stomach, his intestines pop out. I've never seen that in the movie before.
Yeah,
no blood,
that's
because of the formaldehyde's been replaced.
Effect.
Pretty gory. And the lawyer's played by Roy Dotrice. He's pretty good too. But I love that she's going to inherit the fortune from her husband's life insurance. And she used the second wish to bring him back to the way he was just before the accident, but learns that his death was due to a heart attack immediately before the crash, caused by fright when he sees the figure of death following him on a motorcycle. Remember that? Mm-hmm. That's what causes him to die. Yeah, he was embalmed. Oh, fudge.
Oh, that's crazy. Sort of reminds me of, what's that one with Vincent Price, that 80s anthology?
From A Whisper to a Scream.
Yeah, well, a.k.a. The Offspring, it's also called. Sort of reminds me like a little bit of that one with Terry Kaiser, where the voodoo guy, he's already given him the potion to make him live for like 100 years.
Convict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he cuts him up and burns him, and he's in the hospital and he's still alive.
Oh.
Creepy stuff.
Yeah, it says she tries to kill him to end his pain, but because she wishes him to live forever, he cannot be killed. She has now trapped him in eternal pain.
That's nuts.
Oh, but very good there. I'll give that about 4.
Yeah, strong recommend.
Mm. And the
very
next
short, like about 10 minutes, the same as the.
It's short and sweet.
The other one, but it's good.
This one has 5, and the next one is called Oh no, do I read that one or you?
That should be you. Go,
Right.
leave a gap.
Right. And the next one is called Blind Alleys. Major William Rogers, played by Nigel Patrick, the mean new director of a home for the blind, made up mostly of elderly and middle-aged man, makes drastic financial cuts. When Roger ignores the pleas of resident George Carter, played by Patrick McGee, for help, another resident dies from the cold, and a stone-faced Carter leads the others in exacting revenge. After 2 days, Roger's door is unlocked and he must find his way through with the lights off. He yells out in pain as Carter turns the lights on, discovering one corridor is lined with razor blades.
Yeah, see that this is pretty good, but also it was outdone by the remake.
Yeah,
remake had Terry Polo in it.
That's it.
From the Meet the Parents trilogy. Very well done. This is good too, though. He's a real prick.
Nigel Patrick is a prick, arsehole.
Just doesn't give a shit. Like they're freezing to death, and he's putting fuck all in the food.
That nearly happened to Mum's best friend, Mary. She was in a nurse, like a not a nursing home, but like a hostel for blind people, and they had to relocate into another home. And it was run by these two arseholes, and they cut down on the budget, and they were nearly starving these poor people. Mary used to come over here every 6 weeks for lunch, and she told us all about this. And what happened? They got found out by the cops and that, and they got chucked out, and new people took over.
It's crazy, isn't it, in like today's society, like how elderly are still treated sometimes. Like
shit.
It's like saying like there's no place for them in the world anymore.
That's it. When they get a certain limit or age.
It's crazy.
But no, I like this one a lot. It's a good little comeuppance for that cunt.
Yeah, I like where they've got him locked up and his dog keeps barking. And he's like, please feed him, please, please. And he's like, oh, don't worry, Mr. Rogers. He'll be fed. He'll be fed all right.
And I love the way they've led the dogs up to the room to lock them in with the food along the corridor. And they're on the shot there when they turn the lights on. He sees that both sides of the wall are lined with razor blades. And they open up the door at the far end.
Did you mention they're all blind? Or
Yeah, they're all blind. Yeah. And he opens up the door at the far end. Oh, they do. And then the dog at the end of the corridor, and they turn the lights off.
Oh, shit. Welcome to our world.
Yeah, brilliant that. I love that.
It's well done. Oh, you would have got ripped apart, wouldn't you?
Yeah, sliced up to bits and then bloody eaten by the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, that's the end of that one?
Yeah, and then the wraparound, they just find out that the dude who's like telling all the stories is the Crypt Keeper. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, and Jeffrey Bowden pops up in this again as a tour guide at the beginning.
Really? I never.
Yeah, he's got like a porter's uniform on with a cap and the
cool.
dark uniform. He's a lot of these, I think. Just very tiny though.
But it's a solid film, man. I recommend it.
So do I, yes. Even though it was directed by Freddie Francis, it's got a few goodies there. And the next one is...
For any of our young viewers who haven't seen any of these, like, you guys should really check them out.
Yeah.
You'd have a lot of fun. If you love horror, you'd really dig some of the stuff. Like, yeah, if you guys are digging new things like Black Mirror and all that, like, that's where a lot of that stuff's... Yeah, this is where a lot of those stem from, like, stuff, the older classic stuff like this, you know?
Yeah, if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have them.
That's right. And next up is Asylum from 72. This is Dave's favourite of the Amicus films.
Come to the asylum. Come to the asylum. To get killed. Come to the asylum.
Yes, I think the time has come to take violence toys away from you.
To get killed. Come to the asylum. To get killed. Asylum.
Now you hurry and get dressed, and I'll go down the hall and,
Asylum, starring Peter Cushing, Britt Eklund, Herbert Lom, Patrick McGee, Barry Morse,
Barbara Parkins, Robert Powell, Charlotte Rampling, Sylvia Sims, Richard Todd, James Villiers. Asylum. Asylum. The most exciting film you'll ever see.
Directed by Roy Ward Baker, and it stars Barbara Perkins, Richard Todd, Sylvia Sims, Peter Cushing, of course, is back, Barry Morse, and Fernbank. I think that's how you pronounce that. Britt Eklund's in it, and yeah,
and
other actors.
Who wrote the stories?
Oh, of course, stories by Robert Bloch. And the wraparound for this is young doctor,
played by Robert Powell.
Yeah, played by Robert Powell. Is driving up on his way, comes up to this big building. It's an asylum. And actually, I want to mention that the interiors for this film were shot at Amicus Studios, which I didn't know until we watched that documentary. I thought that was very interesting. And yeah, he's going up there for, it's pretty much a job interview, and he's told when he arrives that to get the job,
Patrick McGee,
that he has to guess who Dr. Starr is by pretty much interviewing all the patients. He tells him that one of the doctors has gone crazy, and yeah, he's like now a patient there. And Jeffrey Bowden is back, and he plays Max, and he's like the porter. He like shows him around and introduces him to all the different patients and stuff. And I really like the wraparound story for this, Dave.
So
like,
especially the best one.
Yeah, it's close. I'd still say it gets outvoted just by a little bit by House of Drip Blood, but not by much. I like how he's walking up the stairs and he sees all those
and the music,
those crazy paintings, and yeah, of course the music like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I think it's called A Night at the Museum or something. The background music, a classical piece. Yeah, it just matches up really well, doesn't it?
And it's really like atmospheric and just totally like sucks you into the film.
And
that's the thing, man. Like music nowadays, man. I reckon that's like one of the biggest failings of like. Sorry to, I want to get off topic, but just want to quickly interject. It's one of the biggest failings of filmmaking nowadays, Dave. Is like the power of music and score.
It's like, too generic now.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the well-done score can really just suck you into a story. And that's why a lot of films fail nowadays. It's the friggin' the score. Like even Halloween, man. Like without that score, that movie's it's not great.
But the exception to the rule is Hereditary. They had a brilliant score, a fantastic score. It was fantastic.
But in saying like the scores for those films, they work in the context of watching the film. But you like tell me, can you hum one bit of the Hereditary's music? Or one bit of its music without watching the movie first? I can't.
I can, because I've heard them over and over again.
Fair enough. I can't like off the top of my head, but yeah. And the first segment is Frozen Fear, and it's about a unhappy husband who really just hates his wife.
Played by Richard Todd.
Yeah, but she's like, to be fair though, she's kind of bitchy. And he's got a young lover,
Barbara Parkins.
Yeah, and anyway, Robert Bloch, do you have a hand in writing Tales from the Crypt at all?
I'm not sure.
I was going to say
yes, he did. He did.
I was going to say he likes writing stories where family men or husbands running away with young lovers. I wonder if there's any. I wonder if there's a parable there for his own life.
Must be. As they say, good writers use what's in them.
Right, what you know.
Exactly. Yes.
And yeah, he wants to get away from her and go off with his young lover, and his wife's into like voodoo, and that she's got like a teacher who like he's like a witch doctor or whatnot, and he gives her a bracelet. It's like a bone bracelet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, made of like bones or whatever. Animal bones, probably. And, they have a discussion about how he was asking her for a divorce and all that sort of thing, and talking about how she knows about him going around with other women and that, and she's like, "I'll never divorce you," and all that. And she's like, "You're content to live off my money."
Got him by the balls.
Yeah. And then he just decides, he's like, "Oh, I got a present for you. It's in the basement." And she's like, "Oh, lovely, a fridge." He's like, "I got another present." And she turns around, she's like, "What is it?" And he just freaking hacks her up. And then you just see him friggin' wrapping all the bits and pieces of her up
into white butcher's paper.
Yeah, putting her in the freezer, and he's like, "Rest in pieces."
Terrible fun.
And then the fun begins. The body parts start coming
Jesus
after him.
Christ!
The friggin' head, Dave.
The breathing on the mouth.
How did they do that? That is so well done.
It'd been done with a bellows or something inside the, under the cover there, and they would have had like a pump.
Movie magic, man.
But even the body parts later on, when they're coming after her, Barbara Parkins, especially the torso, and it, waddles along the floor there, and the legs and the arms and stuff like that.
Here's a question though for you.
But no blood.
Is it all in his head though?
No, because it happens to her.
Is it all in her head? Maybe
how could it be in her head though?
Maybe they were just nuts.
Maybe. But how could they both see the same? No.
But
he gets killed. He gets killed by her.
True.
The arm comes out and strangles him, doesn't it? No, maybe.
That's a really creepy story, man. Like, the effects are really well done.
Yeah, for 72.
Just, the way the legs, like, creeping up, like, on its own, and, like, the head at the top of the cellar staircase is just creepy.
And I love that zip zoom when she sees the head first, and they quick zoom into the head.
Yeah, and it's breathing.
And the music again by Douglas Gamley, is a Australian composer.
Really?
Yeah, the good stuff there.
Yeah, like
that boom, boom, boom kind of music, and the torsos waddling against the floor there. Excellent stuff, mate.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. What good horror's about?
A lot of fun, man.
No blood though, like I said.
You don't always need blood, I mean, that's coming from a guy who loves his slashes too.
I like that one a lot. I give that a 5.
Yeah, I rate it pretty high, man. It's very solid.
The next one is The Weird Tailor, which had been made as an episode of Boris Karloff's thriller in the early 60s.
Hey, Dave. I've always been a tailor.
Yeah, Barry Morse. Bruno. Very good. But the segment on the Karloff show wasn't that good, starring George McCready, and I think Martin Balsam was pretty average. Anyway, this is really good. As Bruno recounts, he's a tailor.
No, not Martin Balsam, Dave.
Was it? Huh?
Arbogast.
Oh, true. You'd always be Arbogast. The Weird Tailor. Bruno recounts how poverty and impending eviction forced him to accept the unusual request of a Mr. Smith to produce an elaborate from a mysterious scintillating fabric that must be sewn only after midnight. After learning that what the suit will be used for, it will reanimate Mr. Smith's deceased son. Oh, and Mr. Smith is played by Peter Cushing again. That Mr. Smith has no money to pay the tailor. Bruno fires Smith and accidentally kills him. He returns with the unsold suit. His wife, Anna, uses the suit to adorn their store mannequin, and its true powers are revealed when the mannequin comes to life, Otto. And there it is. This story was earlier adapted as an episode of the Boris Karloff series thriller.
This is my favourite out of all of these. It's creepy as, man. The ending with Otto.
Oh, when the mouth opens.
Oh, dude.
Jesus Christ. And the walk. The way the guy does that walk.
I know. The way his mouth and the way he's walking at the same time. Creepy as.
What would you do if you saw that walking on the street at night time towards you? What the fuck would you do,
I'd run
mate?
the other way, man. I wouldn't question nothing, man. I'd just start running. But
Barry Morse is great, isn't he?
Yeah, I just love the way he plays his character, his accent.
Yeah.
The suit. I must make it.
And the effects on the suit itself were stunning, aren't they? All done with, I think they had a special material made, and when the light hit it, it gave that glowing effect.
And I love the scene where he goes to deliver the suit to Peter Cushing's house, and he's like telling him that he needs his money right away and all that, and he's like, "Oh, I'll pay you when I'm rich and famous because the suit's gonna bring my son back to life.
He sold everything to buy that book, hasn't he?
And he's like, you don't understand. You're rich. He's like, look around. I'm probably more destitute than you are. And he's like, what about your ring? And the way he licks the ring, he goes, it's fake. It was real once, but I had to dispose of it. This loving man, like little nuances you'll put in there, that role, you know.
And the way the whole thing is framed too is stunning. Like there was one time where Barry Morse is moving towards the house or the apartment where he lives, and the way that is shot, very claustrophobic with that low overhang, very closed in, you know, and the music as well by Gamley. It bends itself in your head.
Oh yeah, it does.
You know.
He was in the Fugitive too, eh? He was the cop in the Fugitive.
Yeah, that's right. And he was in the Outer Limits episode, Controlled Experiment, with Carol O'Connor. A lot of stuff. Got a good actor, but and even when they had that fight sequence, though.
Wish Peter Cushing had been in things like The Outer Limits and Twilight Zone and stuff.
Mate, just imagine that. And Thriller.
Yeah.
No,
awesome.
top episode, top segment, that.
Very well done, like, Otto's creepy man, stuff and nightmares.
Oh.
His wife's kind of simple, eh? What do you do with the suit? I put it on Otto. I talk to him sometimes.
But in the story and the Thriller segment, she talks to the dummy. She has a relationship with the dummy.
Oh, she said that. She mentions that. I just said that.
No, but more so. You see actions when she's sitting down talking to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she's always lonely. And
that sort of reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a really creepy episode of Tales from the Dark Side where this guy's like full on in love with this mannequin.
What?
Yeah, it's creepy, dude. Oh. And he's like an alcoholic, and he's got a drinking buddy, and they're at his house, and he's like full on, like he's got this relationship with this mannequin, and his mate he's thinking, is this guy fucking with me or what, you know?
Jesus.
And he starts like cracking jokes and like trying to like rub her leg or whatever. He's like, his mate like tries to punch him out over it and shit. That's a really, I should show you that sometime. That's really good little tale. It's creepy.
Alright, no, I highly recommended that one.
Lucy Comes to Stay. I'll do that one next.
Right. Your least favourite, isn't it?
Yeah. And the next one is Lucy Comes to Stay, and that stars Brett Eklund. And
Charlotte Rampling.
Yeah, and
Megs Jenkins.
Yeah. It's just sort of there, Dave.
Oh, well.
It's just, she's nuts. She's got a split personality. How many times have we seen that?
No, it's Robert Block trademark, isn't it?
Yeah, but Brett Eklund, man, like, what a cutie.
Oh, ain't she a stunner?
Too good for Peter Sellers.
Well, he called her Miss Impact.
Really?
Yeah. And her mother, do you know about this?
What do you call her that for?
Oh, you know, because she was a strong-minded woman. And with her tits, the way she was built. But Sellers' mother hated her. She used to call her a Nazi. Yeah, that's right. You remember, yeah. But no, there are certain moments in the segment that I like a lot where Megs Jenkins is the nurse.
And she annoys me. There's something about her.
What, Megs Jenkins? I like her a lot.
Annoys me.
What?
In this anyway, like, she's just like the way she treats her. Like, she's the bitch.
No, she's just trying to care for her.
I don't see it that way.
It's the brothers at fault, though, played by James Villiers. He's a prick. Oh, but he more so than her.
Oh, she still shits me.
But when she's walking up the stairs, remember? She comes back because she's got that false alarm. And she's walking up the stairs, and all of a sudden she gets stabbed in the breasts.
I love Brett's voice, too. She's got a lovely
yeah, she's got to do the Cockney accent, with that accent, a Swedish accent. It's odd, isn't it? But she's a honey, isn't she? Oh. Yeah. Beautiful blonde hair and that complexion of hers.
Not usually into blondes, but she's cute.
Yeah, she sees intelligence. She's a very smart woman too.
She'd be like, what, 70 something?
Oh, at least. I haven't seen what she looks like now.
Yeah, I don't think she was. I don't think she's been in a movie for years.
No, a long time. Wouldn't need to be. But yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's just there.
Yeah.
To be honest, sometimes I skip the story when I watch Asylum.
We'll do the next one?
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, I'll give that one about maybe 3. I don't mind it. Alright, and the next one is Mannequins of Horror. Martin interviews Dr. Byron, played by the great and wonderful Herbert Long.
Well, this is not really a segment. It's
like
sort of ties into the wraparound.
Yeah, well, but it was one of his stories. who holds Rutherford in contempt. Byron explains he's working towards soul transference with a small automaton whose head is a likeness of his own, showing Martin several earlier models. Byron plans to will his mannequin to life. He explains the interior of the robot is organic, a miniaturised version of his own viscera. Martin concludes his interview and Max shows him downstairs to deliver his judgment to Rutherford.
Yeah, I like the that scene. Yeah, he's like really convinced, that he can put his consciousness in this little figure.
His soul, yeah.
His soul. I don't get though, like the Doctor's reasoning. Where he's like, his whole answer is to lobotomize him. Like,
yeah.
The fuck?
To take all his creativity away from him.
Doesn't make no sense to do that, man. Like,
because he hates him so much. That's why.
Oh yeah, but still,
contempt
man, like,
for him.
And it's like he doesn't need any other authority but his own to make that decision, man. This is bullshit.
And the actual design of the little mannequin is pretty good though too, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty well
like
done.
Him. And I love this sequence where he's holding the figure in front of him. He's lying on the I think it's a couch or something near the window, and the way they've lit that sequence and the music as well by Gambling, stunning stuff there. And the comeuppance, of course, the twist. Shall we give that away?
Yeah, I love. Oh, we've got to talk about this, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put that in too.
Where he goes into there's that moment, like obviously you don't think about it.
No, but Rutherford gets killed by the mannequin with a scalpel in the neck.
Yeah. What I'm going to say is, you don't think about this, of course, the first time you watch it. There's a moment, I think it's right near the beginning of the movie, where that Doctor, he goes to go into that room.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh no, that's my office. And that. So
there's a little clue there.
There's a clue. He doesn't want him going in that room. Then he goes into that room to make a phone call, and he finds the body, and then of that guy, and he's like, "Who's this?" And he goes, "There wasn't any time to dispose of the body." He goes, "Dispose of the body? Who is he?"
He's Max.
He's Max. Yeah.
He's Dr. Star.
He's Dr. Star. Yes.
Very brilliant, isn't it?
But I've got a little story to tell the listeners here, Dave.
Yeah.
You can play some cruel jokes.
Oh yes, I remember this.
When I was
How long ago was this?
Oh man, it was years ago. It's like probably around the turn of the century, probably year 2000 or so. Friggin' back in the day when you used to dub videos for me and like VHS tapes and stuff. I can't remember what movie it was, but at the end of one of the films you dubbed for me, you knew that this laugh that friggin' Jeffrey, what?
Bailden.
Yeah, Bailden does at the end, where after he's killed the Doctor and he starts doing that creepy friggin' laugh that I did earlier in the episode. Like, you put that at the end, and then you put the song, "They're Coming to Take You Away."
Did I put that at the beginning, and then I put the laugh at the end?
Yeah, like... Yeah, dude, that was not funny, man.
You shit yourself.
That creeped the shit out of me. And to make it worse, I was watching it late at night on my own. You bastard. But that still creeps me out to this day. The way he's just like, checking for a pulse, and just the way he does the facial
he puts a stethoscope
expressions. It's freaking nuts, man. That's crazy. And then like you still hear the laugh, like as the camera pulls away from the mansion, it's crazy.
Yeah, and the next Doctor comes along and Max opens the door for him.
Yeah. Gotta shut the door and keep the heat in, as Dr. Star.
No, keep the drafts out.
Keep the drafts out, yeah.
As Dr. Star would say.
Yeah. There's one thing I'm still, I don't know, I might sound dumb for saying this, but there's still one thing I'm a little bit confused about.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's Dr. Star.
Yeah.
And I think we've had this conversation before, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
But, like... And the doctor downstairs knows knows that Dr. Star's gone insane. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, how do they both coexist in this building together?
Because Max is upstairs.
Yeah, but come on, man. Like, they must run into each other.
And remember, he's in the wheelchair?
Yeah, but still,
man.
But
I don't think too much about it, Jesse. It's just a movie.
Yeah, I know. But I just think, like... Maybe
and the thing of it is,
reason they don't run into each other.
But it's going in a loop, though, is it? Because he's got to get interviewed by another doctor to get that job. doesn't he?
Yeah, well, how's he going to fix that problem?
Because
He's killed him off.
Unless they've got another doctor to replace him. But you don't see that.
Yeah,
Because it fades out and it fades in.
But he couldn't keep this scam going long term. Like,
but does he get off
going to
killing
replace
people?
a doctor and stuff?
Does he get off?
Of course he
people?
does.
Yeah.
Well, dude, when you're putting on a stethoscope and checking for a pulse, of course he is.
And I love that when he's tried to strangle Robert Powell. And he's got the stethoscope around his neck.
He tries to get out of it.
Yeah, fuck hell. That's awesome,
creepy, man.
That is a 10 out of 5.
I know I've said that about 10 times tonight. It's creepy, but that really is creepy.
Fantastic stuff, mate. I love that.
It's unnerving, you know.
Yeah, very much so.
Stays with you, man.
Yeah.
But it's solid flick, man.
Solid one. That's
I love this
film. Awesome. Alright, next one is...
highly recommended, folks.
The next one, Vault of Horror?
Yeah. That's 73, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Enter death's waiting room, if you dare. Below the crypt lies the Vault of Horror, a treasure chest of the macabre, madness, voodoo, vampires, torture, and terror. All the things that make life worth leaving.
That's how it is. And how it always will be.
The Vault of Horror.
See, I know them all, mate. I've got them all in the right order. Did you catch up with that shit frickin', oh, what the fuck?
Wonder what the budget for Asylum was.
I didn't say. Did you ever see that?
They use their own studio for the backdrop, so it's probably pretty cheap.
Yeah, it would have been. Maybe just over 700,000. Did you see the new anthology one they brought out now? Directed by women? Triple X or some shit it's called.
Madhouse, is that an anthology?
No, that's a terrible film. Poor old Vincent Price is in that. Just shit film. He plays an actor who's gone nuts and ends up in an asylum. And supposedly people are being killed that he's connected with and he's the suspect, but it's not him. I think Peter Cushing's in it too, but it's pretty weak. You never seen it?
No.
No, it's pretty weak, that one. And
Powers at Witness Madness, that's considered Amicus, isn't it?
No, it's not Amicus.
It's on the Amicus page.
Is it? I think it's an Amicus film. What year was that made? 75?
3.
Oh, that's shit. I think it was one of theirs.
Yeah, I always thought that was made by someone else. 74 is Beyond the Grave. Yeah, that's the last then.
Beyond the Grave?
Told
you.
Yeah, right. Who did Asylum? Was that me? I did Asylum, didn't I? Yeah. You can do this one.
Alright. And the next one is The Vault of Horror, or Vault of Horror. No, the on most posters.
1973 also.
Yep. And this is based on stories written by L. Feldstein, who wrote most of the stories for the original comics, directed by the very talented Roy Ward Baker, and filmed on location at Twickenham Studios. And the first story, the framing story, is 5 strangers board a descending lift one by one in a modern office block in London. They reach the sub-basement, though none of them have pressed for that destination. There they find a large, elaborately furnished room that appears to be a gentleman's club. The lift door is closed, there are no buttons to bring it back, nor any other exit. Resigned to waiting for help, they settle down with drinks and talk. The conversation turns to dreams, and each man tells of a recurring nightmare.
Very well said.
Thanks, mate. And do you want me to do the first one?
Yeah, go ahead.
And the first one is called, which is really good, a nice sting in the tail, Midnight Mess. Harold Rogers, played by Daniel Massey, tracks his sister Donna, played by his real-life sister Anna Massey, from Frenzy, to a strange village and kills her to claim her share of the family inheritance. After settling down to a post-murder meal, I love that, at the local restaurant, he discovers the town is home to a nest of vampires. Donna is not dead. Donna is not as dead as he thinks, and he becomes the dish of the night when his jugular vein is tapped out as a beverage dispenser.
I love that effect.
So do I, and it was cut, wasn't it? Just freeze-framed.
I had a nightmare years ago that was kind of similar to this story, but it was just amped up like for like a modern era horror film with these Oz in this small town, and there was like these real friggin' feral vampires. It was crazy.
Oh, really?
It was really
visceral, buddy.
Yeah, I should do,
But this has tons of atmosphere to it.
Oh, yeah, it does. And they were brother and sister in real life.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned, yeah. The son and daughter of the great actor Raymond Massey. Remember, from Arsenic and Old Lace? Jonathan Brewster? Yeah. He looks like Karloff. Yeah.
He looks like Karloff. I didn't know that. That's their father.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And
he's a real prick, though, Like where
Daniel?
the private eye.
Oh yes,
comes and gives him the info and that, and he just kills him because he wants the money. Doesn't want to pay him. Kill him over money. That's something you'd do, Dave.
Of course I would, Dave.
Money is honey.
Or just kill him on then.
Oh no.
But this is another one, short and sweet. It's only about 15 minutes, 12 minutes.
Yeah, but it's a very effective 15 minutes. And then anyway, he comes back a bit later, and the restaurant's open. He's like, "Oh, that's weird." They said they were he's thinking to himself, said they were closing. Yeah, so they sit him down. They give him a glass of tomato juice, and what he thinks is tomato juice. And they look at him funny when he says, tomato juice. And he's like, "This tastes rather strange." That's our usual, sir. And he just gets him to take it away. He doesn't like it. It's blood, of course. And then they give him some sort of soup, and it looks really rotty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You think yourself, what kind of human body parts must be in that? And he's eating it, and he's this is not that great. You can tell by his expression. And then he starts asking him, how would you like your clots? He's like, what? Clots? He's like, yes, blood clots. And he just friggin' goes spits out all the soup, goes to stand up and friggin' sees it in the mirror that it looks like he's alone in the restaurant because everyone else is a vampire.
Surrounded by bloodsuckers.
But you can notice though, the effect's a little bit dated because you can see there's only a mirror where he's reflected. Everywhere else, the mirror is not there really. It's all like a trick image shot.
No.
And were they sticking with the friggin' tap man? And he starts jiggling.
I know.
That was Cut Man.
Same here. Because on the tape, I think it was on the tape or VH. All right, tape wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tape. Yeah.
And even when they showed it on Foxtel, that was cut. It was freeze framed.
Very effective. And then they're all friggin' draining him, and vampires are talking to each other. And the chick's like, "Much better than the frozen stuff."
And his sister's there, isn't she? Yeah.
I have a glass, please. Good segment, man. And the next one is The Neat Job, starring the late great Terry Thomas. And he is just a nut in this. He is a nut. Yeah, he's got OCD on a whole new level, man. Yeah. Anything there's even minorly out of place, he just goes nuts at his wife.
Anal retentive. Anal retentive.
Oh yeah. He's like they're newlyweds, isn't it? And they've only been living together a while.
He played by Glynis Johns.
Yeah, and he just has his house set up like a friggin' a shop would be. It's crazy. And anything she does that he doesn't like, he just tells her off all the time.
He's wrong, yeah.
And to the point where she changes the set of the chest of drawers. She puts his stuff on his side of the bed. He ends up putting her underwear on. He's like, "What the hell?" And she's like, "I put your underwear on your side of the bed." And he's like, "But my underwear's always been on the second drawer on the right, on this side of the room." And then he shows her like his workshop, and he's look. We'll have to come down here, and I know where everything is. You know, screws, length, width. All I have to do is put my hand out and reach for it, and that, Eleanor, is the value of neatness. And she's like, yes, Arthur. And then, like, she tries the... no, he's going to cook her a meal, that's right.
Yeah.
And friggin' he goes nuts because she hasn't brought anything. Yeah, like, he's got this little checkboard every time he uses an item. She's like, I must have forgotten. He's like, there's no excuse to forget.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
Oh, he's great in it. And then the one thing I don't get, though, is, like, she knows what he's like.
Yeah.
So I don't know why she thinks it's a good idea, like, while he's at work, to change around, rearrange half the house the way she wants
Suck him up more.
Yeah. So, and then try to change it quickly before he comes home.
And then there's like a domino effect, isn't it? Because it
starts with she spills wine.
That's it.
Yeah, she goes to change a record or something. She spills the wine.
Yeah.
And then while she's trying to clean the wine, she ends up spilling the liquid as well that she's using to clean the wine.
Onto the carpet.
And then it's just one thing after another. She ends up like knocking down a picture frame or something like that. And then she goes to get a nail to friggin' hang it, and he comes home. He's like, Eleanor! And he catches her in the basement. And she's like, I just came down to get a nail. And he's like, you messed up my whole house. Can't you do anything, Lily? Can't you do anything, Lily? Can't you do anything, Lily? And she just had enough, mate. Just smashing him with the friggin' hammer, man. That sound effect, it just sounds like his whole skull, man.
Oh, caved in.
He just caved in, man. You just see that one shot of him, like, with a hammer in his head, and he's gone. And then, like, she's just lost it, man. She's cut him up into itty-bitty pieces.
And neatly arranged all his body parts.
Yeah, he's got his hands and his eyes and his friggin' innards.
And his teeth with the gap.
I know, everything. She's like, Arthur, I've put away everything neatly. You said I couldn't do anything neatly. And she starts laughing her ass off.
Brilliant.
Really well told story, man.
See, comedy as well, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, it's got some good humour in there, of course. Yeah. Terry Thomas really adds a good flavour to it.
Oh, he really sells at that, doesn't he? They both do.
They both bounce off each other very well.
Give that 1 out of 5 out of 5.
Oh, yeah, top stuff.
And the next one is This Trick Will Kill You. Sebastian is a magician on a working holiday in India where he and his wife, played by Kurt Jurgens, where he and his wife Inez are searching for new tricks. Nothing impresses until he sees a girl charming a rope out of a basket with a flute. So he steals the trick, and Sebastian plays the flute back in his hotel room, and the rope rises, realises they have discovered a piece of genuine magic. The couple plans to work it into their act, and these experiments with climbing the rope only to disappear with a scream. An ominous patch of blood appears on the ceiling, and the rope coils around Sebastian's neck and hangs him. Their victim reappears alive at the bazaar. That's the young girl, the daughter of the faker.
And
you're not a fan of this one, are you?
I just meh.
Oh, I didn't mind it.
I watched it so we could talk about it, but I usually skip this one.
I like Kurt Jurgens. Good actor.
I just don't like the story.
Oh.
Just doesn't grab me. Dad wasn't a fan of it either. Just doesn't do anything for me, man. Really, like, it's kind of creepy, I guess, where his wife climbs the rope and
screams. You know what the heck she sees?
You don't know what she sees. That's kind of creepy, but I don't know, man. Just not a lot there. Not a lot to really
talk
grab
about.
Onto, man.
All right, skip that one then.
I mean, you can have. Your
I like Kurt Jurgens. Like I said, he plays a real prick, and
I don't mind like the little flute theme. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And it was all shot on the backlight.
He's a bit of a prick though, when he like exposes the
faker.
Yeah, the magician guy.
Yeah. But I thought the effects on the whipping rope at the end were a bit weak.
Yeah,
should have done a bit more on that. Should have been done with wire work on that.
It was like hanging in the
you can see the wire
back
actually
area later on. Really?
Yeah, you can if you've got a good print of it. But no, I'll give that maybe a 3.
And the next one is Bargain in Death, and this has been remade as well, and really expanded.
Tales from the Crypt, wasn't it?
Yeah, very very well done in the Tales from the Crypt series. I think underneath because remember later on in Tales from the Crypt they started putting it also under the banner of Volta Horror. And yeah, this guy Maitland decides to kink out a plan of burying himself to get the insurance with a buddy of his, and they're both gonna double cross each other, and neither of them knows that, of course. And he's talking about like he could have used the concept as a horror story. And he's like, I would have been lucky to get a couple £100 for it. There's no money in horror. And then he's reading Tales from the Crypt, the book.
Yeah, Michael Craig plays the main character.
Yeah, and there's a couple of medical students, and they wish they had a real body to experiment on and all that for their studies.
And the two actors who play those parts from a show called Doctor in the House.
Yeah, I know.
Very popular back in that era.
Yeah.
Robin Nedwell and can't remember the actor.
And yeah, so basically he takes this potion stuff that's going to make it look like he's dead. He gets buried, and he's got so long to get out before he's going to suffocate to death. And yeah, his mate's not going to come get him. And these two medical students strike a deal with the gravedigger to dig up the body and give him a payment for the body.
Played by Arthur Mullard.
Yeah, and there's a good little moment where he's digging the body up, and he starts throwing the dirt on him. And he's like, "Watch where you're throwing that." And he's like, "Oh, sorry." And he switches places with his mates, and he throws it the other way, and he cops it again. And then, yeah, he friggin' digs him up, and he comes out, and then friggin' the gravedigger just kills him. He's like, "Oh, sorry." Yeah, sorry about the head. Yeah. And then, yeah, that's pretty much where it ends.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's alright. It's short and sweet. It's
4 out of 5.
Like I said, the remake is greatly expanded on. I think, was it Michael J. Fox, I think, directed the remake?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know he's in it. And also the actor that plays Strickland in the Back to the Future films is the detective.
Yeah, forget his name. He bald then?
He's always been bald. Didn't that guy ever have hair? Yeah, it's a nice little segment.
And the next segment is the last one, called Drawn and Quartered. More played by another Doctor Who alumnus, is an impoverished painter living in Haiti. When he learns that his paintings have been sold for high prices by art dealers Dilettant and Gaskell, all of whom told him they're worthless, he goes to a voodoo priest, and his painting hand is given voodoo power. Whatever he paints or draws can be harmed by damaging its image. And he finds his way back to London, and he gets his revenge on these 3 pricks who ripped him off. And one of the persons is played by the wonderful Denham Elliott.
Yeah, of course, who's also in House of Red Blood.
Yes.
And Indiana Jones, of course.
And it's
good actor.
Good segment, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, this one. It's got some good humour in it too, and it's a really good comeuppance, like where he gets that one guy who he's showing.
Oh, the guillotine.
Yeah, he's got that paper guillotine, and he's been a prick. So he's trying to explain how to cut the paper. And he's like, "I don't know what we employ you.
Yeah,
I'm going to show you one more time." And he cuts his hands off.
Oh, and that was cut too on the video release. And when it was on Foxtel.
I bet. Hey, well, yeah, I like that one scene where he experiments with the voodoo just to see if he's really got it, where he draws the vase and he knocks it over and it really breaks. And he throws the piece of paper and the vase breaks, and then the piece of bread.
Yeah, and the little mouse comes along and chews it.
He rubs it out and comes along and chews it.
And what happens to him, though? Tom Baker's character.
Oh, yeah, at the end, yeah.
Like he's painting in the safe to keep it, to protect it.
Oh, that's before that, yeah.
That's right. And he can't breathe?
Good suspenseful, sequence that he's got.
It's one of that hasn't been remade.
Yeah, true. But I like where he gets, we just mentioned him, the guy.
Denham Elliott.
Yeah, Denham Elliott, yeah. Makes him shoot himself.
And the other guy, I can't remember the actor's name,
his wife finds
Acid.
that he's, been cheating on him. You'll never look at another woman again.
Throws
the acid in his face. Yeah, it's an enjoyable.
It's a strong one, that one.
It's a strong one, yeah. Good one to end the film on.
When the story of the final dream is told, the 5 ponder the meaning of their nightmares. The lift door opens and they find themselves looking out onto a graveyard. They walk out into the graveyard and disappear one by one.
Yeah, and then Jerkins stays behind and he pretty much tells, like kind of breaks the fourth wall in a way, and he tells the audience that they're condemned to tell the stories of the horrible things they did when they were alive for all eternity. And it's really kind of creepy.
Chilling, eh?
It's chilling, yeah.
And the way they've lit that set, it's all fogged up, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's that really ominous music.
Douglas Gambley, I think, too. He did some great stuff there for an Australian.
But really highly recommended. I like doing a double bill with this and House of Drip Blood.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, that one.
Very good, that. Most
I
of the
usually
stories
pop it in at least annually.
Yeah.
And the final anthology is From Beyond the Grave.
This is where the temptations begin. Unlimited temptations.
Can I help you at all?
I'll tell you what, I'll give you 25 quid to get rid of it.
It's a deal.
Each concealing a horrendous nightmare that reaches out from the dark world that lies beyond the grave.
Come in. Whoever you are, come in.
If you are looking for excitement, way beyond the normal. No. If you want to test your nerves beyond endurance, come beyond the mirror on the wall. Step beyond this door to the room of no return. Experience the evil with no name. Steel yourself for the visitor in the night. Every step you take brings you nearer the clutching terror from beyond the grave. Find me another.
One quick stab. Just orderly.
We've got him! Where the white worms crawl from the sinner's grave, leave us forever.
Denied me life.
Susan!
Ghostly, kept alive by the life essences of those who had been sacrificed to it.
It's from 1974, and the plot of this one is 4 customers purchase or take items from a Temptations Limited, an antique shop whose motto is offers you cannot resist. A nasty fate awaits those who cheat. The shop's proprietor, played by Peter Cushing. And the first tale is The Gatecrasher, starring David Warner as Edward Schultz. Yeah, this one's alright. He just buys this painting and he wants to rip off Peter Cushing. He only wants to give him I think a quarter of what it's worth, and he knows what it's worth. That's why it's considered a rip-off. It's not just that he doesn't want to, pay what it's worth. He just wants to friggin' rip him off. Yeah, it turns out that the painting is haunted by the spirit of a guy, and he makes David Warner's character kill young women and stuff, and he feeds off the killings and stuff until he's killed enough of them that he can escape the painting. And I think it's all brought on by a seance, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how it sort of all starts.
And the guy who plays the spirit in the mirror was a real Satanist.
Really?
Do you know that? Yeah.
No,
I can't remember his name. Yeah, he actually
That's
killed
pretty
animals and
interesting.
stuff.
Yeah,
but I thought
he kind of played that part very well. That
yeah,
guy,
he was pretty good, wasn't he? But as a whole, I'm not a fan of this one. I thought Warner was wasted. He didn't have much to do in it.
Well, it was kind of like fun to see him play a psycho, like how he played Jack the Ripper in.
Did a
Time
better job in
Time.
that.
Oh yeah, of course. We had more to work with, more time, develop the character, of course. But I don't mind it. I don't think it's great, but it's passable.
Oh, I think it's weak.
It's there. Yeah. Not bad. Not great.
No, I'll just give it a meh. Maybe about one.
Yeah.
I can't wait to rewatch this again. When I do put this on, I'll just skip that. But alright, we'll give that one the Bubs a rush.
Hey, I got an idea, Dave. What about here's an idea. Why don't we should make like our own edit and edit all the best.
Yeah, the best segments.
Amicus segments.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like what we've done tonight.
Into like a movie.
Oh, you meant into a movie itself, edit them from the DVDs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do
all
that.
The best into our own little
yeah, the best of.
Or the best of. Yeah.
Good idea, mate. I like that. And the next segment is called An Act of Kindness. Christopher Ian Bannon, who's fantastic. He was in The Offence with Sean Connery. He played the supposed molester. Excellent film. Do you remember that, do you?
Yeah, that's still like.
How long ago did you see that?
Connery went there and played that role. Man.
I know.
That's brave.
That's dedication, isn't it?
Yeah.
Top actor, mate. Ian Bannon is a frustrated middle management drone trapped in a loveless marriage with Mabel, Diana Dawes, and what a slag she is, eh?
Yeah. Get on with your pie or whatever she's telling her kid to eat.
What a frickin' bitch, even the son.
Now get on with your supper.
Yeah. Bullied by her and shown no respect by his cunt of a son.
She's actually in one of the Septo movies.
Yeah, that's right.
The beginning of that.
She was a good looking woman when she was younger. Well, you know what her real name was? Dinah Fluck.
No.
When she changed it.
Yeah, exactly.
And bullied by his wife and shown no respect by his son, he befriends Jim Underwood, Donald Pleasance, an old soldier, now scratching out a living as a match and shoe seller. And eventually he meets up with his daughter, played by his real life daughter Angela.
And boy, can you tell it's his real life.
Oh, double.
It's about on par with the lightness with Hitchcock in Pat Hitchcock.
Patricia, yeah, exactly. And he actually, Bannon enters the shop owned by Peter Cushing in an effort to impress. Lowe tells Underwood that he is a decorated soldier. To back up his lie, he tries to persuade the proprietor to sell him a Distinguished Service Order medal. When he asks for a certificate, he steals the medal. And then Underwood is impressed by the medal and asks him to come to tea, meet his daughter, played by his real-life daughter, and things start happening from there.
Yeah, I really enjoy this one.
So do I.
Every time I watch this, I just, like when Donald Pleasance's daughter's on screen, I just keep thinking to myself, it's because of her that her dad made Halloween.
Yeah, is that amazing?
Because she was a fan of Assault on Precinct 13.
All right.
She thought that was a cool film, so that's really the reason why Pleasance ended up accepting the role in Halloween.
News to me, didn't know that.
Yeah, as Sam Loomis.
And the build-up to the end of this, is really well done, eh?
Yeah. I like that one scene where he's in his house and his wife's giving him shit. And he starts pounding on the frigging kitchen table. I won't be spoken to like this. He's just like totally emasculated.
Like his balls cut off, yeah.
Oh, mate.
Poor man.
He's like talking to Donald Pleasance's character. He's like, the house is a disgrace. And all that. Yeah, she's just a real bitch. And his son's a little dick, eh?
Yeah, a great twist, mate.
Yeah, but they do it all for the kid, though. But he's a freaking dick.
Amazing.
Do you want me to? Should I? Yeah, of course. You sure? He's great in two Pleasance.
5 out of 5.
I wish Pleasance had been in a few more of these. You know,
yeah.
Like would have been good to see him in like House of Drip Blood or something. You know.
Yeah, that would have been great. But yeah, 5 out of 5 for that one.
Yeah, it's a really it's a good one, man. And the next one is The Elemental with Ian Carmichael. This is a good one. This one I really think it's creepy. I know I've said that about 100 times tonight, but the imp demon thing. Oh, yeah. I'm free
on his shoulder.
Oh,
eating
man,
at him.
stuff for nightmares. Yeah. What's he ripping him off with? A snuff box, which is supposed to be like cocaine.
He changed the tag, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they use as cocaine in the 20s and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well put together, this one. And this elemental creature attaches himself to his shoulder, and he's on the train, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this what would you call it? Like
she's a psychic.
Like a psychic.
A batty self-professed psychic played by Margaret Leighton.
Yeah, she's good. She's good at playing this character.
Madame Orloff.
Yeah. He's on you, my dear. He's a creepy one.
Give that. That's awesome.
I can see you, you know. She's good, man.
She's brilliant. And then he gets home, doesn't he? And then he finds that he's nearly murdered his wife.
Yeah, the creature starts getting in the choker and stuff.
Yeah. And he has to call on her to get help.
And
what does she charge him for the taxi fare? And her fee is about $400 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Pretty high.
And he's going to try and rip her off out of the fee, isn't he?
That's right. But the thing nearly destroys the house, doesn't it? As they're doing the repossession.
Yeah. So it causes like a tornado inside the house.
And the twist. What a twist, eh?
Oh, like I said just before, I'm free.
Yeah,
This is his wife, and just the way his wife's doing that crazy expression.
But in the story, because they probably couldn't afford it for the film, we actually see the creature.
Oh,
okay. It's visible.
Is it described?
It describes what it looks like a little pixie, but it's more deformed, and it's got warts all over its body. It's kind of grim and slimy, and its claws, because it can dig into your flesh.
When I think about it, I sort of think about like that sort of friggin' crazy creature that's in the Twilight Zone movie, the remake.
Oh, the Gremlin.
It's a Good Life. Yeah, that Gremlin. Not the Gremlin one. The one It's a Good Life. Remember, he's got
comes
that,
out of the TV.
Like that crazy thing. Yeah,
it spins like the Tasmanian devil.
The Tasmanian devil. Yeah.
The tongue.
Yeah.
And the eyes pop out.
That's sort of that kind of a
tinier
thing is what I think about what this imp would look like. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. But no, good. God, get that 5 out of 5. Like I said, that's a great one. That one, goody. And the lucky last one is the door, which I'm not a fan of. It reminds me too much of the first one.
Yeah, it does have. Yeah, well, it's an item like in the first one instead of a painting. It's a door.
Yeah,
and this is the only guy that survives, and that's because he didn't rip him off. He paid him less for what he wanted for it, but that was all the money he had, though.
Isn't there another set? Oh yeah, it says at the end. William Seaton, played by Ian Ogilvy, is a writer who purchases an ancient ornate door from the proprietor. He is unable to meet the proprietor's asking price, but agrees a reduced price with him. When the proprietor goes to the back of the shop to note Seaton's details, he leaves the till open. After Seaton leaves, the proprietor starts counting the money in the till. And his wife thinks the door is too grand to lead to a stationery cupboard, but when she touches it, she seems to be able to see what originally lay behind it. And they find out that the door is like a portal to another dimension, another time.
What does this remind you of, Dave?
Dead of Night. The Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just not as good.
No way. No, it's not, just flat. No, I can't talk much about it at all. It's just, I mean, the last bit there is better than this.
I kind of like the look of the door, like that
solid
blue,
very ornate
colour and stuff.
It's just flat. It's just so similar to the first story.
Yeah, well, he's like, what is he, like some ancient dude at like friggin' hacking up women or something?
Yeah, like Jack the Ripper or something.
Wants to kill his wife
but
or his girlfriend or whatever, and then
Elizabethan period, I think he's from.
Save her.
Yeah, from the Elizabethan period, because he wears a wig, a powdered wig,
and
a beard. No, it's just flat.
Yeah, it's a bad one. That they should have probably switched place between this one and the Elemental. The Elemental be the last one, and on a strong story.
Yeah, true. Because this one kind of peters out. And the last bit, it says there, between the segments, a shady character played by Ben Howard is seen to be casing the shop. In the end, he enters and persuades the owner to hand him 2 loaded antique pistols. He then tries to rob the owner, who refuses to hand him any money and walks towards the thief. The thief shoots but finds bullets cannot stop the owner. Terrified, the thief staggers back, is hit by a swinging skeleton, falls into what appears to be a combination of a coffin and an Iron Maiden, and is spiked to death. Nasty, the proprietor says. The proprietor then welcomes the viewer as his next customer and explains he caters for all tastes and that each purchase comes with a big novelty surprise.
I love that, the way he gives that.
And he talks to the camera, doesn't he?
They did that a little bit in these, eh? They break that fourth wall. It's in Vault of Horror.
Do a Groucho.
It's in House of Crypt Blood at the end.
But what would you give this one out of 5? Oh, you'd say
it's
average?
Just there.
Yeah, I'll give it about 3.
To be honest, man, like this is better than Dr. Terror, but it's the same sort of thing where every time I watch it, a lot of it really does just wash over me. Yeah. Apart from the Elemental story, which is easily the best, and then I'll argue either that one or the one with Pleasance. Yeah, they're both very good, but those two stories are the only ones that really stand out. Yeah. The rest of the movie, I kind of forget it like an hour after watching it, you know? Yeah. It's just sort of there, other than those two segments. They're still very strong, so it's still worth a watch for those. Yeah, no, it's,
like I said, maybe, how many films do they do? 6, 7?
I think it's 6.
6 films, probably about 4 out of that lot were very good. And still get enjoyment out of them. But it's disappointing that, like we said, they didn't kind of balance out too well. Either through the director, the writer, they're running out of steam. And that's a shame because there are tons of great horror stories to bleed, to suck dry. And they never achieved that. Maybe they couldn't get the rights to them, or they didn't have time, or they didn't have the budget. But apart from that, we appreciate them, don't we, Jesse? We really like them.
Yeah, the best of them, like House of Drip Blood and Vault of Horror, Asylum. I'll always, revisit those films. Yeah, they've been favourites of mine since I was a little kid. And I think Amicus, considering what some of these films are made for, they're very well made, the good ones, Even though, they were smart, like in Asylum where they used their own studio as the backdrop for the...
Saves money.
Yeah, for the wraparound. Saves money, of course, yeah. But yeah, like you said, it's a shame they couldn't draw upon some stronger material with some of them. You could have really used some stronger material in Dr. Terror. Yeah, in their defence, so that was their first attempt at making an anthology. And then, of course, like we were just discussing, From Beyond the Grave, that's got some strong segments, but that could have used some better segments as well.
Yeah, because not all of them are based on stories from the EC comics. Like I said, the first story, Terrors, Dr. Terrors, is all based on stories written by Subotsky, apart from one.
Yeah.
And a couple from Block and, what's he say his name? Feldstein. It's a shame. But like we said before, or we mentioned in passing, that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have any Creepshow, wouldn't have any Black Mirror.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't even have, probably the 80s Tales from the Crypt, or Tales from the Dark Side, or any of that sort of stuff. This is where it all began. I think, the only anthology film before this, really, that I can think of was Dead of Night, which is a classic, which we've got to discuss at some point, too.
And if they ever get around to making another anthology, they've got to use well-known actors.
Well, how would you feel if they made another horror anthology under the Amicus banner, even though Amicus doesn't exist anymore as a studio, but using the title how they use the Hammer name now, even though Hammer's not really a real thing.
It's just a header.
That'd be interesting. It'd be good that you could even get away, I reckon, with even making a series and calling it Amicus Anthologies.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd work today. I reckon people would jump at that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, mate.
But, this was a fun discussion, Dave. It's one I've wanted to do for a long time, and, man, I'm just glad we got to have this little discussion, man. It's fun.
Same here, mate. Good.
Thanks for listening, folks. And, Dave, remember, just tell it to call you Billy.
Fear.